underway. Should be a terrific match at Woodville Oval. ABC, match of the day. Bello tries to get out of the centre. Big pack of players there, they converge. And the ball just ever so slightly toward the Eagles' way. They are kicking to left of screen, so the Eagles with plenty to prove this afternoon. 6 and 7 so far, up against Central's 12 and 1. Taken by Shirley. Shirley off one step, kicks inside 50. Awkward bounce, knocked away by Geister for the Bulldogs and hits the boundary. And Andrew Rogers, it's sure to be a pretty good first quarter. The Eagles need to hang on in this first quarter and make some progress.
I really think they need to set the tone early, Michael. Let's set the tone. Let's play to our standard and really put it back on Centrals to lift to the standard we're going to play today.
Well, they're inside 50, so ball hits the deck, taken away, couldn't quite get it, and they hail for a cab there. Steinburner amongst that, and the umpire will come in and have another bounce. So let's have a look at the Eagles bench.
We see first gamer Dennis Elgerson, 18-year-old.
Be a bit twitchy, bit nervy. Ball taken by Jeffries, gets it towards Skipworth to Mackenzie. Eagles go into attack, long kick toward the square, thumped away, kicked off the ground. Central's out of the danger area. Foot race is on. They go hard at it. Hicks will be first there, but he's bowled over by Henschel, and the ball goes out of bounds.
I reckon you can pick it early. Last week we saw Centrals come out really hard against Sturt and played with a real intensity. Just seem to be a little off the boil here at present.
Oh, Hereda down to Gowans, just toes it out of the 50 and well met by the Eagles. Gee, they're fighting hard early. They've got the ball back inside forward 50, knocked away by Geister for Centrals. In and hard at the ball, both sides at the moment. Jeffries gets it forward to Sikalella. Good hands across to Shirley. Closing from 30 metres. Shirley opens the scoring for the Eagles.
And that's exactly the Eagles, the start they were looking for. Let's put some scoreboard pressure back on Centrals. I mean, Centrals are notorious or have been really good at starting well all year. Make sure they're in front at quarter time. And it was a great finish by Robert Shirley. You can see now Hayden Skipworth, the important thing here was that he held onto the footy. He didn't give the footy up when he got tackled. Jeffries just gets the ball forward. You can see Robert Shirley running straight at goals, which is important, finishes nicely, puts the first goal on the board, and the Eagles lead by that margin.
Great start to the Eagles. Can they get another quick one? They need it. They need plenty of those this afternoon. Arnold, or they both misjudge it. Bello gets locked up by a couple of Eagles there, and will have a secondary bounce. So good goal to Shirley. There's the Central's bench. The boys chewing the fingernails, pointing out the instructions there.
Yes, one of the gentlemen sitting down, Matthew Slade, suffered from flu during the week, but reports are that he will be ready to rock and roll.
Looked pretty good in the warm-up, Michael. Did Matthew Slade out of the centre. They try and work it through. Sikalella was there. Potter. Ball squeezes out. Bello. He's got plenty of pace. Oh, tried to hand it off. Now goes to the left footer. Up forward. Walton was the target. Oh, coming out and taking the mark was Ford. In fact, it was Shell. So really just getting himself into a good position there, Daniel Shell. And he takes his first mark. First time inside 50 for the Bulldogs. And Daniel Shell will kick from 20 metres out directly in front.
And everywhere this year, Daniel Shell, Adelaide Crows, 2s for Central's last week. And back into the league team now.
And he gets a reward for playing in front into the breeze. I mean, into the breeze, the ball's always going to drop short. Gets his reward for doing that.
Well, I don't know whether he's mucked this one up, has he? Goal umpire did a lot to his right, but I think he just snuck it through. So the reply comes pretty quickly from the Bulldogs.
And it was very predictable once again. Central's on it. Every time they go forward, they'll kick it to the hot spot. They kick it long to the hot spot. See Marco Bello break out of the centre, gives a little handball off to one of the Gowns, kicks long, and it's to the same spot every time. It's just 10 metres out from the goal square. Shell knew exactly where the kick was going to go. It's very predictable, but very hard to combat.
Shell kicked 5 goals last week in reserves in a good performance. Kicked half of his side's goals in reserves last week as Central's beat Sturt. And he's kicked the first for the Bulldogs this afternoon. Sikalella working it to Fiacci. Wanted to duck the head. Now he's going round and round and he's caught. Forced to surrender the ball to Marco Bello. Gee, they're a good tackling side, the Dogs. Bello wanted to give it off, I think, but in the end those options were covered. Now there's a big space inside the forward 50. He goes over the top looking for it, and Potter, brave effort. Perhaps could have been paid that mark. The umpire said play on. And now he'll come in and bounce.
And we saw young Peter Fiarchi get caught holding the ball there. He's one of the players that the Eagles will be looking to step up so that he can match the better Central District's on-ball players today.
Umpire Kevin Chambers puts the ball down, goes against the breeze, ends with Sicolella just dribbling it towards the boundary. Fiarchi, the opportunity, decides to just wander over the line.
And we saw Justin Sicolella get a quick kick in there. He's been in great form this year. Could well be a Magarey medal dark horse.
You mentioned the Central's midfield, one missing this week, Danny Stevens. We saw him get a nasty knock of concussion from last week, and he'll just see out this week, be back next.
Back in the middle, McKenzie to Fiarchi. Toe forward, just didn't go far enough. Now it's up to Hamblin. Hamblin will send Centrals into attack. Here comes Shell from behind, almost got his hands to it. Went to ground. Now here's an opportunity to clear the ball through Allison, and he goes for the boundary straight away. And just dribbles it out of bounds, and you can see already under siege.
Yeah, such is the Eagles' mindset. You can see Paul Allison, instead of trying to make something happen there, his first objective was to go to the boundary. Now, I suggest the Eagles what they got to try to do is, look, let's take the game to Centrals. Let's try to make something happen. If we're going to go down, let's go down having a go.
Boundary throw in, Gowans, tackled by Lindsay. Umpire says, give it to me. The intensity there all the way through Centrals. They don't let up from start to finish. And that's a sign of a very, very good side, which they are. Gowans, handball over the top, looking for Fitzner. Fitzner runs inside 50, and did he run too far? He's nailed it. I'll tell you what, he had one more step, and I think they might have dragged him, but he kicks their second goal, so Centrals get goal number 2.
And what Central Districts do really well is they create space goal side of the packs. You can see there, you can see no one space side. All Gowans does is gets the ball forward, fits and then knows he can run onto it. He runs his full 10 or 15 metres, finishes nicely. Stephen Hall's got to make a decision whether or not he comes out. He decides to stay with his man. Fitzner gets an easy goal, and Centrals have responded to the Eagles' early challenge.
Just to the right of the screen, Central's no player lined up on the square, so they're just looking to create that space to go into the forward line. Doesn't end up there. It ends up with Paul Lindsay on the bottom of the pack, and he's obviously very important for the Eagles this afternoon if they're to get a good go on at this game.
Andrew Rogers, you're a back man of note. Stephen Hall then just made a decision to stay with his man rather than put pressure on the man with the ball. Do you agree?
Well, having the first goal kicked on him, I probably would have stayed as well, I think, Michael.
Here's Hamblin with another opportunity for Centrals. Closes inside 50. The kick was awkward in the end. Knocked over the line by Hall. Well done. Got it away from Shell as they grappled with each other's jumper.
And you see Central just a little bit cleaner through the midfield. They're able to get the ball out in the open. They're using the ball a little bit better. Just around the packs, they just seem to be dominating at the moment.
Darzanos, long kick, outside 50, good spot up, finds Pedler. So Pedler playing in front. Umpire calls him back, says no, get behind your mark. Joe Pedler, stern performer for the Eagles, has got Colville inside, finds that player. Very easy to distinguish Gavin Colville. He's got Allison laterally, but decides to kick the ball long. Not as good a kick as he would like. Ball thumped away by Thomas, rove by Skipworth. Skipworth's kick inside 50, looking for Fruin, couldn't take the mark. Paredes there, blocked up by Neiman. He got a quick kick out. Fruin there once again, dives on the foot. He could have got a free kick. Well, the umpire said play on. I thought he might have been a bit stiff. In goes Fiarchi. He's a goal kicker. Oh, scrubby kick across the face of goal. Walton's got it for the Bulldogs. He'll relieve. This long kick out looking for Bello and Darzanos. Ball will beat them both and out of bounds.
Interesting, Gavin Colville's actually lined up on a wing on young Paul Thomas. Just don't know the reason behind that. I would have my best on baller, and Gavin Colville's one of the best on ballers in the competition. I'd have him in the centre and amongst all the action.
And I would have had a free kick for Brent Fruin then, as we saw on the replay. Never mind, it's off to McKenzie inside 50. Good mark going back. That was by Hamblin. Had a few touches already in this game. Hicks relieves, gets it out wide. Taken there by Hay. Turns on his left leg. Inside, he's got a player running for him. Here comes Allison the other way. Crunch. Allison, well done. Sicolella picks up the crumb. Kicks it up inside the forward 50 again. No mark. Over the back. Fruin. Opportunity. Geister opposed to him. Gets it away from him. Tries to soccer off the ground. Still it's there for the Eagles. Hay did well. Got a kick out of half-back before. Got that ball towards Steinburner. Steinburner in turn got it forward. Here's Thomas. Thomas, lovely kick around the corner. Hamblin, somebody should be marking this guy by now. Gets it up towards the 50 for the Central District. Well done by Pedler, was held. Got the kick, the umpire said play on. Now it's down towards Sikalella. Good mark. He's been in everything as well for the Eagles. Gets up. He's getting a 25-metre for that one. The man they call Krusty will take his free kick 25 metres closer to goal.
You can really feel some passion between the two sides. There is a history between the two sides over the last few years, and they have been the two dominant teams over that period. So there is a real bit of history around the both teams at the moment.
30 possessions last week in the big victory over North Adelaide for Justin Sikalella. And he lines it up just outside the 50. He'll kick from perhaps 55. It's good into the breeze. It's long. It's strong. It's a goal. Well, just what the Eagles needed.
Exactly. They've responded to the challenge. I mean, Central's put a lot on. There's been some great body clashes. We saw Paul Allison put his body on the line here in front of us here in the commentary position. You can see Ryan Potter brings the ball out. Playing in front is Justin Sikalella. Gets his just rewards to do that. Tries to get back quickly and play on. Paul Thomas just held on for just that little bit longer.
And Paul Thomas sits down for that mistake at the 10 or 11-minute mark of the first quarter. That'll be the first 10-minute period of football this year where Centrals haven't undergone 4 or 5 interchanges, because that was their first one for the game, and they normally just rotate them through one every couple of minutes.
Lovely goal to Sikalella, just carrying the pack. Back in the centre, Lindsay got it down. Matthews was there for the Eagles. In goes Skipworth, just dives on the footy, locked up by Bello. Crowd calls ball, but locked in under, and the umpire will bounce.
And it's interesting, Alistair Clarkson's setting that example. He did exactly the same last week with the Gowans twins. They were, they made mistakes. They didn't do it properly, and they got taken off.
Well, that's a pretty tough school. Up goes Mackenzie, couldn't get it down. Fiacci caught without the footy, legged in fact. Fiacci, umpire calls advantage. Sikalella, short kick, looking for and just couldn't find his man in Henschel, and it was knocked through, or was it scooped through? No, knocked through for one behind. Looked awfully like a scoop to me, boys.
And the Eagles showing the benefit of playing on quickly. I mean, they're getting numbers around the footy. Young Peter Fiacci, he had the run of the play there. He just got held up. If he had been break open, he would have an open goal in front of him. Such is the Central discipline. Look, they'd rather take their chances, give away the free kick. Let's settle it down.
Tyson Hayes' kick wasn't perfect. Sikalella managed to get it to ground. And a crowd in just looking to nullify that ball. And the Eagles eventually get it bounced down at least. And congratulations all round, mostly for Justin Sikalella. Put his body on the line there. They retain it inside the forward 50. Neiman. Chris Gowans came over the top. Now Bello got sort of clear. Couldn't get a hand pass effectively away, and the umpire will come in and have another bounce.
Neil, I reckon we've seen this from other teams this year where they've been able to match Centrals for a quarter or 15 minutes. The Centrals maintain the same intensity for a full game, so that's the challenge for the Eagles today.
I think the challenge might come about 15 or 20 minutes in with the rotation through the midfield for the Eagles. We're now 13 minutes in, and you would think the midfielders would start to just tire a bit.
Yeah, you would suspect, and that's what I'm talking about. When they can throw McGowan and Stevens and whoever else in the midfield, then the Eagles can't match them with the Peter Fiaccis and players like that, the Skipworths.
Well, Slade got his flu just tested out there, just got the breath out of the chest from the Eagles tacklers there, just to make sure that he was fit and ready to go. This is the 4th bounce we've seen in this area of the ground in the last 5 minutes. It's off to Skipworth, gets it up inside that forward 50, pressure on the defence. But good enough to take the mark was Hicks, and he'll relieve quite a deal of pressure for the Dogs.
Hicks, who's a grand defender for the Bullies. It's a good pack mark. Short kick finds Hereda. So Hereda, Mr. Consistency they call him. Short kick finds Arnold in front of Mackenzie. So Arnold got a big job ahead of him today against one of the dominant ruckmen of the competition, Paul Lindsay. They decide to switch it again. Oh, the kick's gone over the top. Hay has to do some doubling back. Neiman kicked it off the ground. Ball wobbling, dribbling, wobbling, through for a behind. Well, could have been a fatal mistake, Andrew Rogers.
Could have been. I mean, that's always the danger with trying to switch the play in the back line. If your skills aren't up to it and you do miss the target, it opens the area up for the opposition there. David Neiman, unfortunately, with his age and his big size, couldn't get down to it. Just had to sock it off the ground and just couldn't quite get enough on it.
Here's Hopwood held up, and that'll cost Justin Sicolella, 25 metres, but he knew what he was about. Hay had got it quickly to Hopwood from the kick in, and there was space further up the ground. Sicolella managed to stop them from using that space. Now Arnold loose in the middle. Lindsay closes him down. Arnold will want a hand pass. He's certainly looking for one. Eventually will settle for a kick. Comes to this side of the ground. Out in front and, well, not taken in. Here's pressure again. Bolton went for the boundary line. Through the interchange gate, and umpire said throw it in. So cleverly enough, that disguise, but certainly meant by Walton to go over the line.
And it looks as though Centrals are going to make the Eagles' ruckman accountable. They're actually pushing Arnold back into space and making Paul Lindsay, making him have to pick him up rather than play a kick behind the play.
Oh, there's a show of strength from Big Lindsay. Just pushed away one of the Gowans boys. Now Sicolella again. Great hand pass off to Shirley. Closing from 40 metres. Shirley has a shot on goal. Wait for the umpire. He's pretty happy about it, and so he should be. It's a goal to the Eagles.
You see the benefit of getting it away from a very quick passage of play, getting it away from a boundary throw-in. And the key element there was David Neiman's attack on the footy. Although he fumbled, he still brought the ball forward. You see Paul Lindsay using all his strength, pushes the ball forward. David Neiman's the one that attacks it. He just has a fumble, but the ball still comes forward. And front and centre is Justin Sicolella. He gives a great handball out to Robert Shirley on the run, who straightens his body, finishes nicely, and finishes with this second of the day.
Neil, you mentioned before Matthew Slade's flu. They're testing it out slowly because he's sitting down again, as is Paul Arnold.
Puffing and gasping. Shirley, a goal kicker for the Eagles this afternoon, gets his second. Arnott just couldn't quite hang on. Gets it back to Hicks. Hicks off one step. Long kick. Chris Gowan's up. Couldn't take the mark. Ball spills. Fiacci gets on that left boot. Long kick. Oh, it bounces in the middle. Taken by Neiman. Handball off to Skipworth. Skipworth. Short kick. Has found the target. Henschel. Oh, good use of the footy Eagles. Rebound football. Gowans couldn't take the mark at half back.
And just smart play again by David Neiman playing in front. They were quite happy. Skipworth was quite happy to be front and centre in front of his eyes. It was an easy handball give. He knew exactly where he was. He just give the ball some air, enabled Trent Henschel to make his own pace into the footy. Takes an easy chest mark. He is a very good kick for goal.
35 metres out, slight angle. Henschel, good-looking kick. Andrew Rogers, you know your Eagles. He's popped it through, and the boy from Northern Territory, who's had 4 or 5 games back from a long spell, is just about working into something for them.
And it's impressive so far from the Eagles. They actually lead the inside 50s 10-4. So they really have got a lot of the footy around the ball. And that would be causing Alistair Clarkson some problems. They just haven't started with the same intensity they started with Sturt. We saw them on the ABC last week. They really dominated Sturt from the start, from the first bounce. The Eagles have come out and they've jumped them a little bit here. Let's see if Central's can respond.
Back in the middle, taken away by McKenzie for the Eagles, so they'll go forward again, remembering they are with the breeze. Over the back, it gets to Henschel, snap, off the ground it goes, bounce once, twice, through, umpire says, another goal, no, hit the post. Oh, that was a close run thing.
And they are just winning the ball out of the centre at the moment. You can see how McKenzie was able to break that away with a bit of pace, get the ball forward, and they're having one-on-one contests. They're not enabling Centrals to push back in numbers and clutter it up, and they're reaping the rewards of that on the scoreboard.
They certainly are. They look dangerous when they go forward. Umpire calls Hay to get on with the job. Long kick, looking for Hicks and/or Hopwood. Up goes McKenzie, but it's Hopwood. Very strong hands. Just inside his defensive 50. Hopwood, not much to kick to as he looks down forward, decides to go back. That's dangerous, finds Hay. So Centrals decide to switch it totally. Long kick, outer side, marked by Geister. So they take it down the outer side wing. Allison backing back with the flight of the footy. Fiacci's there. They dive on the footy. Hamlin's there. They lock it up. Well, this game has had plenty in it. 4-3-27 the Eagles. Central's 2-1-13. Great start, 19 minutes gone. Good opening at Woodville Oval. Ball knocked down. In goes Sicolella, Lindsay, the handball, out to Allison. He's got to get rid of it quick. Does. Long kick. The fly will be Henschel. Oh, flew too early, gave away the free kick.
So the way around, Michael, it's a free kick to Trent Henschel. He's been pushed.
I just saw him fly. Well, might have just got an arm in there, but Henschel's got it. Just saw him fly and thought that's a bit early, but he's got it. Well, he kicked one. They couple of moments ago, and very unlucky, hit the post, and now he's having his third shot. So Trent Henschel really is providing something, and that's what the Eagles need. A good target up there with Henschel and Neiman. In he comes. Good looking kick. Well, goal umpire didn't have to move. He's got his second. The Eagles get their fifth, and they go away. Andrew Rogers.
And it's just weight of opportunities. They are actually getting more of the football around the football. They're actually beating Centrals at their own game. Just being clean around the takes, around the bounces, around the throw-ins. We can see here again, Trent Henschel just works his way to the front, gets his reward. There's just a slight hand in the back, probably pretty soft at the end of the day. But he goes back and finishes, and that's an important thing for the Eagles, is that they are kicking goals, they're not kicking points, and they are putting some sort of pressure on Centrals.
20 points the margin, 20-minute mark, first quarter. Centrals have not been under this sort of pressure for some time. Hamlin just pats it forward, it gets to Shirley. He pushes his side towards Fruin. Fruin on the ground, fighting hard, opposed by a couple of dogs, and in the end, nobody could get out of the pack.
I think it just goes to show, Neil, if you don't actually come to play on a certain day, you can be exposed. And I don't reckon Centrals have come to play in this first quarter. And so the Eagles have taken it to them and have proved too good for them so far.
Well, that's one of the worst bounces you're ever likely to see. We'll get that on replay later. It went straight to Sikalella, who kicked it forward. Good move by Neiman, who got to the front. Now it's with Jeffries. They share the ball around. Finally, Fianchi gets it over his shoulder towards Henschel in the square. Henschel does well. In the end, though, the Dogs get it out of bounds, and the umpire calls for it to be thrown in. That was really one of the most awful bounces, straight into the umpire's face. So 20 points the margin, 21.5 minutes into the opening term. The ball comes in again, and Sikalella, gee, he's destroyed them. Here's McKenzie, can he steady? Can he kick a goal? He's away and astray.
It's another one of those opportunities, Neil. And the key to the whole game at the moment, and they spoke about him last week and he played really well, is David Neiman. David Neiman's giving the Eagles first look at the footy, especially in the forward line, and he's providing a very valuable target up forward.
Hay finds Hopwood, half-back. Did that a moment ago. So that's the way Centrals will go. They switched the play just a second or two ago, went across the face, didn't come off, and a rebound goal to the Eagles. So the umpire says, come on, Heath, get on with the job. Long kick. They fly. Up goes the big fellow and takes the mark, and that's Cowan. And Cowan warmed the bench early. Short lateral kick finds Walton, so they're still prepared to take the risk. Handball over the top to Hopwood. He's been mown down by Fruin. Awkward kick taken by Arnott, who just gives a bit of ground back to Hopwood. Good running. He shares it with Walton, so Walton off one step will find Gowans out of side, and that's James Gowans. Gowans on the wing, short kick, finds Hopwood, who's run off. Good play. Hopwood goes inside 50, looking for Chell. Oh, in fact, it was Ford. I'm getting those two mixed up at the moment. Taken by Skipworth. Skipworth's long kick, not a direct one. Hicks dives on the footy. In goes Colville. Hard, as you would expect. They dive on the footy, caught underneath. They try and drag it out. Gowans is there, and the umpire calls for it. I tell you what, it hasn't eased up since the first minute, Andrew Rogers.
It's been very much an important 5 minutes here for the Eagles. They have worked really hard. They have dominated the game around the footy. Now, for Centrals to get a late goal would really spoil all their good work they've done so far.
Well, here's Potter, just takes it over the line for the Eagles. See Sikalella just applauding that effort, just to take the ball out of bounds in time on 23.5 minutes. They got a 21-point lead. The Eagles have made pretty good use of the breeze. Ball comes back in. Here's Potter again, just taking a ground by Walton. Umpire will call in and say, it's mine, boys.
And Ron Fuller spoke about being accountable. I really believe he's probably matched up one-on-one against a lot of the Centrals on ballers. He said, look, you run with Gowans, you run with whoever, and make him accountable. So if he gets a kick, I know that you're his opponent.
Oh, there's an absolute nest of Eagles sitting forward of the ball then, but they didn't get it. It's gone the other way. Now here's Walton, closes inside 50. He's kicked a Shell on the lead. So Shell, difficult angle. He led straight to the pocket. He's looking inside, as you see, and he did not see an opportunity to give it off. So he'll line up from deep in the pocket.
And it's a very deep pocket over there, Neil. Be a good kick from there. The thing that created this opportunity was just a small fumble by Paul Lindsay. The Eagles had a lot of numbers around. He just had a small fumble, turned the ball over, and now Central's get the opportunity.
So Shell plays on and does a Gary Owen. The up and under, 10 yards out, and believe me, it wasn't planned. Eagles with a chance. Potter, great little hand pass to Sikalella. Great little dummy. Sikalella sets it up, gives it to Shirley. It's about the 4th time this quarter he's handed the ball to Shirley. Now they go forward, up towards half forward. Neiman comes from behind, spoils. It's on the ground. Coming the other way, Thomas off the left leg. Tumble punt, gets it inside the forward 50. Lucky bounce for Arnold. Out this side, Walton is clear. He will snap on goal. Walton from 45 metres into the breeze, hits the post.
Geez, it was a strong kick, wasn't it, Neil? Into whatever breeze it was. It's hit the goalpost halfway up. But Central just seem as though they're starting to get a bit more composure about them now. They have been seriously challenged. They're now starting to even up the inside 50s, now 13-7s, still in the Eagles' favour. Just starting to get a bit more of the footy.
Earl decides to go straight up the centre, looking for Lindsay. Ball spills, in dispute, taken by Shirley, who's on fire. We'll get his stats in a moment, finds Neiman. Neiman's got it, half forward, quickly onto Colville. Colville, inside 50, he's on his own Hatchell. He'll take the mark. Will he go on with play? He will! Shoot, goal, and he's missed it. Well, he had the opportunity to go back and have a kick. Terrific defence by Central's, Andrew.
Yeah, it was great defence here by Damien Hicks. He had the opportunity to go back and have his shot at goal. Just a little bit of inexperience there, deep in time on. All he really needed to do was take his time, go back, kick the nice goal. Would have given the Eagles a great advantage, but unfortunately, just the professionalism of Damien Hicks, never to give up. He never ever gave up on that chase, and he was able to put it on. As we get a look at a blood draw now, and we get young Dennis Ilston coming on for his first run in SANFL footy.
As you can tell, Andrew Rogers a big rap for young Ilgerson. The ball will be kicked in by Hay. Eagles have manned up on this side, which has been the preferred option for Hay's kick-ins. So he goes to the far side of the ground, this time to Arnold. Good grab. Quickly on, Thomas skirts around wide, then straightens up on the right leg, down towards the wing, and coming across there, mark or out of bounds, what was it? And that player has not moved, he crashed into the fence. That's Fitznut. In fact, he's done a hamstring by the looks of it, as we just see stretched there.
Oh, yeah.
And he felt the rip, and look at the arm go down. So I reckon we won't see much of Ben Fitzner for the rest of the day. It's off to Steinburner from that ruck contest. Now across the ground, Arnott goes inside half forward. Hamlin gets his man away from the ball, gets a free kick. Umpire calls play on. Walton out to Shell on the lead, and Shell one grab, no. Ball to ground, Darzanos clears it for the Eagles. On the far side of the ground, they've got a bit of space and a bit of time. Through to Sikalella, the man who set the play up. Hands it off to Skipworth. Skipworth looking, waiting. Now he goes back through the middle again to Sikalella. Sikalella in a bit of space on this side of the ground is Jeffries. Jeffries behind him is Colville if he can get it on. On it goes to Colville. He'll turn, run will he? Just waits, balks, holds it up. Ilgerson came on the lead, over the top it's gone. Will it come to ground? It does. Oh, gee, they're under pressure, Central, so Raider gets away with it. They'll clear the zone.
Steinburner just outside his defensive 50, looking for Hamlin. Couldn't take the mark. Darzanos was there. Jeffries, Bello. Jeffries dies on the footy. Handball back out toward Colville. Colville got it to Darzanos. He's locked in the tackle. Loose ball. The turnover comes to Bello. Wants the left leg. Oh, it's brilliantly smothered by Jeffries. They're under pressure as Centrals. Hicks in all sorts of trouble. Took a fortnight to get rid of it. Handball got back to Slade. Slade kicks it long. The target's Gowans. Oh, in goes Allison. They can't take the mark. Umpires paid a free kick. It'll go to the Eagles. Go to the Eagles for a high tackle. It'll go to Potter. And a little bit of back chat, as we saw last week, from Gowans, and that'll be another 25. So 50 all up against James Gowans. And I tell you what, the Eagles boys have got him in. Sikalella's been flattened by Ford. But the umpire says, settle it down, fellas.
And it'd be interesting to see if Alistair Clarkson reacts the same way he has previously and rips one of the Gowans twins off.
Well, Potter goes to a terrible option, 2-on-1. As they come away, Slade for the Dogs. Finds Gowans, that's James Gowans, Chris Gowans. It goes towards Steinburner, just gets the kick away. Siren, what a time. Action-packed first quarter. Boy, the heat has been on. The Eagles 5-5-35, Central's 2-2-14. A sparkling start, Andrew Rogers, to the Eagles.
It certainly has been for the Eagles. I mean, they've been very impressive so far. They've shared the footy around. I think the most impressive thing is that they actually have won around the footy. That's been Central's strong point for the last 2 or 3 years. That's been the Shirleys, the Sikalellas, the players like that who have dominated the game around the midfield. And they've given their forwards first use of it. David Neiman's been a very willing target and able to continue. Trent Henschel, unfortunately, just made a mistake just from a junior player. If he had to go back and kick that goal, would have put more pressure on Centrals. He gets Alistair Clarkson the chance now. Look, settle our side, settle our players down. Look, we have been challenged. We're not playing a Sturt this week. There's not the same intensity about the game as what there was last week. We need to lift our intensity around the footy, and then we'll start our running game going, and then we can roll over the top of the Eagles.
Well, it's quarter time at Woodville Oval and ABC TV's Match of the Day. The Eagles 5-5-35 lead Central District 2-2-14 by 21 points. Looking forward to this second term. The Eagles very competitive, 21 points ahead at quarter time. Can they go on with the job in this second term? We'll wait and see. Centrals, can they strike back? 12-1 record this year. Up goes Arnold and Lindsay. Spills, Sikalella, handball away. Here they go again. Long kick, just outside 50. Ball thumped away. McKenzie at the foot of the ball, taken away. Good play by the Eagles, by the Bullies, marked by Arnott. So Arnott's got it right in front of the broadcast position. Long kick, inside 50. Hamlin's there along with Earl. Shell was there, ball knocked away from him. They knock it away. Sikalella, another possession. Thought he got the handball away. Umpire agreed. McGowan over the top. Will they get one early? Goes to Steinberner. Long kick. May have just got in, has he? No, he hasn't. Just to the right-hand side. So an early score to Centrals. They move to 2-3-15. Eagles 5-5-35.
You can see the type of pressure that Central's put on Justin Sikalella. He actually coughed the ball up in defence and handball back into a space, into a dangerous position. He's probably better off trying to hang on to the footy there and just copping his lot in life.
Just a little too severe from Chris Gowans then on his opponent. And, well, he's had a word to the umpire. The umpire didn't appreciate whatever word it was.
I reckon the words got out on the umpire fraternity. I think they've probably had enough.
Yes, well, the Eagles get advanced 25 metres.
Just on the Gowans, twins each had just one kick and one handball in the first quarter.
They've been not very productive, but we know from history that they certainly have the ability to pick up possessions in a hurry. Ricky McGowan held late. Free kick to Centrals.
And speaking of the Gowans, James Type is still sitting down. The sin bin from his indiscretion just before quarter time, where he gave away a 25-metre penalty.
And I'd be surprised if Chris isn't also heading this way.
Here's McGowan.
Here he comes now.
The hook is out for the Gowans boys. McGowan goes short meanwhile. Healy quickly back to that player again. Off the left foot this time to Hay. Hay will go to his left leg as well. Through the centre. Driving, long kick. Nobody on the lead except Allison. Should have taken the mark for the Eagles. Umpire calls play on. Umpire calls my ball.
I mean, and a positive there for Paul Allison. He actually led his player to the footy. So we see Chris Gowans also get taken off for an indiscretion. I mean, it's great Alistair Clarkson is setting this standard, and it doesn't matter who you are or what you say, you're going to get taken off if, in fact, your mouth off to the umpires.
Well, forward, just a smothered kick off the boot. Fianchi comes from behind, tries to knock it away from James Gowans, who's just replaced his brother. James Gowans buries in there. Umpire spots a free kick, and perhaps the word is out because the umpire comes in and said, you threw a sly one, and I'm going to give a free kick against you. And Justin Sikalella will be advanced 25 metres as well.
And they're showing wear signs on the hook, because here it comes again.
He's got is that a splinter or two, I see him.
Well, they're not happy, the Gowans boys. The crowd not happy either, or at least the part of the crowd that is the Bulldogs. Sikalella takes his kick. Back inside towards the 50. The ball over the back. Paul Thomas goes for the line, doesn't get that far. Skipworth will scoop it up. Now he gets one high up by, says play on. That'll upset the crowd as well, this time the home folk. Ball outside 50, the two tall targets in Neiman and Fruin went for it. Fianchi got it, kicked it up inside 50. It looked like there was a holding decision on Geister, but he gets the ball anyway off one of his own players. Just drives it outside 50. Arnold back with the fly, took the mark. quickly on. Here's Slade. Takes it, breaks. Now he's looking for a target. He hasn't got one. He's under pressure. He surrenders it. No, the umpire calls it a free kick. They get out of it anyway. Central's Arnott dumped late. Umpire says down the ground. And it'll be a free kick to Murray Hamlin, the 2001 reserves best and fairest.
I mean, that's poor play by Paul Lindsay there. I mean, the Eagles are putting a lot of pressure on the Central Districts and they're struggling to have any cohesion going forward. Just to give him an easy kick around a half forward is undisciplined.
Shell gave the long lead. Ford was there, had a couple of dabbles at it. Umpire said Daniel Shell and also Keenan Ford both having a touch of that. Couple go to ground there. Joe Pedler, the last one to get up. Deep in the heart of Bulldog attacking zone. There they are, the boys having a bit of fun down there.
Bit of dancing.
Yeah, oh. James Hurt did a bit of ballet, didn't he, the Essendon skipper? Up they go. Hamlin just knocked it down. Lindsay with the bullocking, tried to get through. Slade dives in the footy. Ugly pack, 30 metres out from goal.
An important time in the game now for the Eagles. If they can hold Centrals here now for a period of time and then maybe even sneak a goal, it just changes the whole momentum of the game again.
Paul Lindsay just off camera, went back, kicked behind play. Ball hits the ground. Hall with strength, gets it back. Sigalella off one step toward the boundary. Colville versus Thomas. Good foot race there. Thomas first there, runs it out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
The reason Paul Lindsay was moving away from the ball is because he's moving off the ground. He sits down, takes his rest, and young Dennis Igeson comes on for his second run in SANFL football.
And we'll test out David Needman's fitness. He now goes onto the footy to take care of the ruck.
Well, there's a lot of players around that ruck, and coming with the ball is Steinberner. Back to McGowan, quickly trying to get it in field. Eventually he did. Well done to Arnott. Now they move the ball across the centre to Hereda. Hereda looks inside 50 with the chip pass just a little too high. Earl came, so did Bello. Made it look good, Bello. Didn't get the free kick. Irate fans now. Fruin breaks the tackle and he's away. Takes a bounce inside to Colville. Colville gets a shepherd. He's got a player running for him inside. Decides to bomb it. Bad mistake by Gavin Colville. He'll turn it over straight away to Hicks. Hicks has got a player on the far side of the ground in Steinberner. Plenty of space in front of him. Over the top, he'll want Arnold if he can gather it. Great tackle. Arnold will get it though. Now pursued by Sigalella. Closes him down just as he kicks the ball up inside the forward 50 or thereabouts. Ford looked to be held. Got off a hand pass quickly to Slade. His kick dribbled forward. Now Allison. Crunch. Oh, this is a great contest. Ford gets up and walks away and says, come on, bring it on.
The most impressive part of the day for me has been the Eagles' pressure. When Centrals have had the footy, they've always been under pressure. They haven't been able to go forward smoothly with crisp handball or clean kicks. They've always got someone just scragging or just hanging on to him.
Just a sense that Allison might have a sore leg out of that one, possibly a corky. Hamlin pads it forward. Still nobody able to get it clean possession. Finally, Earl picks it up, breaks away. Off to Darzanos, puts down the hammer, and away he goes. Darzanos gets a good shepherd, takes on 2 or 3. Well done by Darzanos, gets it out towards the wing, towards Fruin, was taken to ground, he'll get a free kick. Well done by the Eagles in defence. That was really, really brave work from Darzanos to get it out of there. So as we watch that replay, definite free kick. It's off to Matthews from Fruin. Matthews off the left leg, plays on, doesn't really deliver the ball properly. The Eagles manage to get back in defence and will clear it.
Hicks takes the mark, short kick, cross play, finds Thomas. So Thomas has been wearing Gavin Colville like a glove this afternoon. Long kick, Allison again, just got into the contest, well played. We'll go with that left foot, kick, just tumbles inside 50, out they come. Colville just trapped it enough. Little Ilgerson in his first game, get us out to Colville. Colville the handball back, Jeffries tries to get around, gets it to Sigalella. He's got a man in Shirley. Shirley takes it, will go on and kick a goal. No, he won't. He decides to go back. Oh, and thought about playing on again. Rob Shirley, he's kicked a couple. Let's see how he is with a standing start. He's kicked a couple on the run. Andrew Rogers, how's he on a standing start?
Probably not as good, I don't think, Michael, but geez, they're working well together, Justin Sickler and Robert Shirley.
Yes, if Robert Shirley picks up a few dollars for best on ground today, you want to split that with Sigalella, I would think.
You can just see Justin Sickler's coolness under pressure. A lot of other blokes are rushing around, not using the footy really well. He's just evading tackles, making the correct decisions and making Central's pay.
Here comes Shirley. Good-looking kick. I think he might have just snuck it in. We'll just wait for it. He likes it. High fives to Justin Sikalala. Third goal to Rob Shirley. Sixth goal to the Eagles. 6-5-41. Central's 2-3-15.
And the vital first goal of the second quarter goes to the Eagles against whatever breeze there is. We can see Mark Jeffries, and here's Justin Sikalala just with enough time and presence about him to spot Robert Shirley out the corner of his eye. Could have played on and gone forward, went back, decided probably what Trent Henschel should have done. Kicks a nice goal, kicks his third for the day. I suggest this would be Robert Shirley's best ever haul in an SNFL game.
Just 9 minutes into the second quarter, Justin Sikalala's had 17 possessions.
Having a big day out at the moment. Ball back in the middle. Neiman, who's into ruck because Lindsay's just come on the ground again. Healy, though, clears it. Up forward. Punched to ground by Earl. Hamlin ducked the tackle, went for the hand pass over the top, missed. Pedler took him on. Allison, Darzanos, now wide. McKenzie's got another one over the top in Skipworth. Skipworth will get the ball, only just. Bad disposal, just couldn't quite get the hand pass away under pressure. Here come the Dogs, back the other way. Oh, a bit of a fumble too there by Walton. Walton, let it go on the ground. Jeffries now, opportunity for the Eagles. Back inside, he goes to Pedler. Pedler didn't like the opportunities he had in front of him, so turned it over by kicking it back into the middle of the ground. So Arnott with the mark for the Dogs. Just goes short, plenty of options, and short was Heath Hopwood. The dual best and fairest will go back and shoot from perhaps 45 metres. Bad mistake to clear that ball back into the middle by Joey Pedler.
Yes, and a bad mistake at this time of the game. They have put some real pressure on Centrals, but once again, they just reversed the trend there. Well, they put some pressure back on the Eagles' defence. Unfortunately, Joe Pedler just chose the wrong decision.
And the defender looks to have kicked a goal. He has, so Heath Hopwood kicks a goal, and a badly needed one for the Doggies, kicking with the breeze. They've got 3 on the board.
And of course, they just make it just with that nice gap there. You know, it's a 20-point margin to the Eagles at present, but it hasn't, not enabling it to blow out. Their better players haven't got their hands on the footy yet. When they start to, the gap will suddenly close up a fair bit. So you can see Heath Hopwood loves running down and kicking a goal. He would have kicked a few this year already. So once again, he kicks one from the halfback flank.
Yes, he's kicked 8 this year so far. Andrew, you're spot on. Stole my thunder, actually. I was going to say that. But anyway, goes to Lindsay. Tries to take it out of the air. Yes, he does run forward very well, Hopwood. He's got plenty of pace. And he's a good finisher as well.
And for the first time this quarter, both Gowans are back on the ground for Central Districts after suffering the wrath of the coach and sitting down for disciplinary indiscretions. We'll see if they can work themselves into the game now.
Is that a bit of tape I see over the lips? Anyway, it goes to Colville. Colville, spearing kick looking for Henschel. Ball bounces. Oh, just turns Geister inside out. Running into an open goal. Henschel shoots at goal and hits the post. Well, he just worked Geister out of the contest there and sped away, and was very unlucky to hit the woodwork.
Brent Henschel scored with every possession today, has 2 goals, 3 from his 5 kicks.
And you can see the beauty of them getting clean takeaways from the midfield. Gavin Colville was able to get clean breakaway, running forward of the play. Just unfortunately didn't hit Trent Henschel with a kick. He was still good enough to be able to have his shot at goal. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite finish.
Cowan's off the back of the pack, just belts it forward. Central's trying a different tactic with the breeze from the kick in, and it seems to be working as Arnott back inside the forward 50. Well done by Hall, got it away from Shell. Roving the ball well was James Gowans, though. Can he get the handle on it? Finally he can. Back to Hamlin. Hamlin had a look, decided to come inside, just pops it up. Here comes Shell from behind, big leap, couldn't take it down. Matthews had an option in Jeffries. Jeffries gets a good shot, but Chris Gowans was taken away from the ball. Darzanos, ball was smothered, I thought. Yes, off the boot, smothered, so it's out of bounds in the forward pocket. Good pressure from the Central District forward line.
And the reason Mark Jeffries didn't kick that then, because he looked up and it was all Central Districts out here on the grandstand wing. He just had to bide his time and try to make, so he kicked back to a one-on-one contest. Good pressure by the Central Districts forwards.
Lindsay couldn't get the ball. Cowan almost took it away. Well done by Jeffries. Off to Darzanos. The speedster again puts the hammer down. Gets towards the 50 and then bombs it out towards the wing. Fruin did well, made a contest, brought it to ground. Doggies have the numbers. Here's Bello. Back inside 50. His target over the back, I think, might have been McGowan, the smallest man on the ground. Doesn't get the ball. finally coming the other way. Well done by the Eagles. Again, they clear it through Pedler, and he looks for the boundary successfully. Gets it out of bounds over near the scoreboard that shows the Eagles by 21 points. We've travelled 13 minutes in the second term here at the Woodville Oval.
And that was a better option by Joe Pedler then. Rather than kick the ball high back into the middle, let's kick it to the boundary line. Let's start again. Let's make a 50-50 contest.
Well, whenever Central's popped the question, the Eagles have all the answers at this particular stage. Can they go on with the job? Ball spills. Gowans can't get it. Knocked away by Potter. Picked up by Hopwood, who's gone forward again. Oh, well done by Potter, who just leaves the ball toward the boundary. Oh, and he's got a high one as Ryan Potter, and he's hurt too. Oh, there's a bit of action out of side. It's going to be reversed. So the Eagles getting caught up in a bit of the hype. And Hopwood's got it. He'll square it up. The target is always Shell. Can he get clear? Shell. Ball hits the deck. Colville just gets the kick squeezed out. Thomas grabs it for the Bulldogs. Has got one short. Decides to go long. Off one step. Good looking kick. He's popped it through.
I mean, that's a great opportunist goal there by Paul Thomas, but it all stems back. It was an Eagles free kick on the outer side in front of the scoreboard. And what they do, and I think it was just big Paul Lindsay. He came in, tried to show a bit of strength, pushes the bloke over. The kick gets reversed, so instead of going 50 metres to the Eagles' direction, it goes 50 metres to the Central District. So disappointing there for the Eagles. But Paul Thomas, a great kick from a stationary start, puts it up in the air, lets it breeze do the rest. Unfortunately, Paul Allison just couldn't get their hand on it. And so now the Central challenge just starts to mount.
Paul Thomas, his father, played in the centre. Jamie Thomas played 124 games for the Dogs, and Paul Thomas heading that way as well. Sigalella comes away from the Eagles from the centre. Eagles' margin's been cut to 15 points. The ball in dispute at half forward. Neiman's working hard in there. The umpire will come in to separate the pack. Bounce the ball down.
Just a quick look, Neil, at the other games. The Westies have decided they want fifth spot. They've kicked 10 goals in the first quarter at Richmond against North, and I hate to say it, but Glenelg are a point in front of Sturt.
Well, there you go. Wonders never cease. And on the bottom of the pack at least. Put the teeth back in. The Bulldogs captain in Healy gets up. Umpire, another bounce just on the forward 50 for the Eagles. Neiman comes in. Hereda nullifies it. Comes clear. Sigalella does well. Oh, got one in the back. Umpire has called it back. Yes, he couldn't help himself. Simon Arnott was falling. Put the knee down right in the middle of Sigalella's back. And the ball had gone by then, and the umpire called it back. So Sigalella with another opportunity to set one up for the Eagles. Dogs have flooded right back. In fact, only 4 players, 2 from either side behind the centre at the moment. Sigalella, see what his disposal's like. Oh, great mark, a big pack mark from Lindsay. Wow, that was tough.
Geez, it was strong, wasn't it, Neil? It was almost a set play. Justin Sigalella knew he couldn't get the distance, so he just waited and waited and waited. Paul Lindsay actually pointed to a spot where he wanted the ball. He's the biggest man there with the strongest hands. He really wanted that footy, so he gets the opportunity now just to extend this Eagles lead out again.
Gee, looking at that replay, there's not too many players who'd want to sit in front of this big guy when he's coming hard like that. So Lindsay, perhaps to make up for a little indiscretion on the far side of the ground that cost the Eagles a goal. And here he comes, lines it up, very high kick and away to his left. Umpire signals the minor score.
That's a disappointing finish there from Paul Lindsay. You're only going to get so many opportunities against Central Districts, and one just went begging there.
Certainly did, Andrew Rogers. But what a mark by Lindsay, a statement of strength. Long kick out. Oh, couldn't take the mark. That was McKenzie. Ball fished out. Went to Shirley. Poor handball looking for Sigalella, who didn't run onto the footy. Down in the hands and knees. Lindsay trying to make amends. Ball locked up half forward for the Eagles. As we tick into the 17, 18-minute mark of the second term. 6-7-43, the Eagles. Central's 4-3-27. Ball up. Hereda in there hard on Neiman. And we'll have another bounce. But, gee, I tell you what, the Eagles have been very physical so far in this match, Andrew.
They've certainly matched anything that Centrals have thrown up to them. It's just going to be interesting to see how long they can maintain this intensity.
Can they go the distance? Neiman got it down. Oh, big pack of players. There's heaps inside 50. They try to burst their way out. Hopwood, did he have prior? The umpire, normally in these circumstances, plucks out a free kick. about 25, 30 metres from the Eagles' goal. You'd think he'd have to a fair bit of G&D.
And once again, too many numbers around the footy. If you're an Eagles forward, get out of the area and try to create some space. Once again, we're going to have another ball up here. What they've got to do is, if you're a half-forward flanker, push out into a dangerous position so you create some space so that someone else can actually use that space to run into an open goal or use the footy a bit better.
Well, they're trying to do it, the Eagles. They're on the backside of their player, if you know what I mean. They're just trying to get away from the Dogs. Here's Fiacci. Fiacci through the middle. Oh, great dodge, sets it up. Can he kick a goal? Oh, he can't finish it. Bad luck. Peter Fiacci, just amazing. Just waltzed through a pack of Dogs.
I mean, a great turn of acceleration there and great play from Peter Fiacci, but he forgot the most important thing was to finish with a goal. It was once again set up by good, clean hands and great vision by Justin Cicolella.
Hay decides to boot it long. Lindsay, big thump back inside 50, only as far as Hopwood, off one leg, gets it toward Hicks. Hicks, full stretch, couldn't take the mark, gathers now, kicks inside 50, looking for Ford, who just shoves off, can't take the mark, ball spill, Slade, tries to get it back on the right foot, oh, kick smothered by Allison, who hasn't done too much wrong today, ball spills to Pedler, Pedler with a good kick, out towards Shirley, so Shirley, outer side, half back, just gets the left kick down, taken by McGowan. They work it round, Steinburner squares it up, looking for Gowans, over the top, McKenzie just got a fingernail on it. Oh, free kick could have gone to Arnott, ball spills, in goes McKenzie. Oh, he's locked up, I thought he dropped the footy. Bello goes down, pushed in the back by Darzanos, umpire said play on, fair enough, he could have plucked a couple out. Arnold, oh, caught without the footy, umpire says play on, ball kicked off the ground by Gowans, ball spills, oh, up goes Hopwood, will he kick another goal, off the left boot, it bounces, did it go through? Amazing kick by Hopwood, has he got his second? Goal umpire agrees, goal to the Bullies. Well, what a frantic bit of play, and Hopwood, with the ugliest looking left footy you've ever seen your whole life, just dribbles it through.
And it was a real arm wrestle, Michael. They just kept on going back with the foot. Both sides went in hard tackling. There was no clean possessions. Just one of the Gowans boys socketed the ball forward, kept it alive in his forward line. Hopwood just gets a left foot on it, gets a lucky bounce. But what they did was just keep the ball alive. They keep persisting. You see a great shot there on goal umpire Cam. Stephen Hall doing the right thing and playing in front, but unable to get a hand on it.
And just an update on the Central's bench. Ben Fitzner, we saw him go down just before quarter time, has damaged a hamstring quite severely. Will take no further part in today's game, and I'd say he'd be missing for the next couple at least.
Well, almost the first kick for Ilgerson, but he couldn't get it away. Here come the Dogs. Off the left foot goes James Gowans, inside forward 50, out of bounds on the full. Hall will take the free kick. So at the 8-minute mark of this term, Shirley kicked his third goal, and the Eagles were out by 26 points. It's now been cut back with 3 goals to Central's to just 11 points. James Gowans just feeling the side of his face. Or maybe it's from his mouth he's worried about. He's been talking to the umpires quite a bit. He's been penalised a couple of times. Lindsay showing his strength again for the Eagles, takes the mark, feeds it off wide to Darzanos. Here's Darzanos showing his pace. Lovely pass. Oh, good grab, umpire. What does he think? Umpire says out of bounds. Neiman just unable to hold it sufficiently long enough. 22-minute mark, 11 points the Eagles' advantage. Central's kicking with the breeze in the second term. Lindsay taps it down. McKenzie was held back. Umpire didn't see it. Was on his blind side. Hamblin, his kick smothered by a couple of players. Darzanos, pace, can't get away. Gets it to Fiacci. Fiacci was taken just as he kicked it forward. Gee, they're desperate to get the ball, the Eagles, and they are getting first use for that reason. Now they get a forward against Skipworth off. He was quite blindsided then as he kicked the ball. Thomas got across him. Hereda took the mark, and Hereda will get a 25-metre penalty against David Neiman for just hanging on just a tad too long. But he succeeded at least in slowing down the progress of the Bulldogs. Off the short pass goes to Bello. Backs up, has a glance upfield, plays on. Darzanos got to him just a little late. From behind comes Chris Gowans. The Eagles get it to the front. McGowan farms out a hand pass. Nobody in particular was the aim. Eventually, it comes clear. Allison toes it off the ground towards the far side. He's beaten in a foot race dead by Steinburner. Picks it up back to Arnold. Arnold on the half-forward flank. Drives it inside. Allison got forward. the Dogs again. This time McGowan, loose hand pass. Shirley, a lovely little kick. He was really had no option and got it away. That looked like a throw. Umpire said no. Hey, lucky bounce. Closes on 50. Oh, deadly accurate off the left foot. Tyson Hay, what a goal.
And it was inevitable, wasn't it? I mean, Centrals were always going to come back. They were never just going to sit back and just let this happen. And that's a sign of a really good side. And I mean, you make your own luck. Now, Tyson High playing in front. Hey, Skipworth just gets a hand on him. Luckily, fortuitously, it comes off his fellow player's boot. He then has the presence of mind to go about, run straight at the goals and finish great. So the Central District's backman running down, kicking goals, which is what's causing the Eagles problems.
Vital ingredient for Central this quarter is Rick McGowan, who didn't have a run until quarter time, has now had 11 possessions in this quarter.
Well, the margin closes down to 5 points nearing half-time. The Eagles would dearly love one to re-establish some sort of authority in this game, but I think Centrals are back in it. Free kick will go to the Eagles. Right in the centre of the ground, Fiacci. He's been a handy player for them. Right in the centre of Woodville Oval. 5 points the difference. Can the Eagles get another one? Can Centrals hit the lead before half-time? Mark taken by Hopwood. Hamblin, who's been prominent, goes with a non-preferred. Wobbly kick. In front, Shell. Ball spills. Potter has got Darzanos. Uses him. He's a very clever player, Darzanos. To Earl. Hugs the boundary. Mark taken by Jeffries. Right in front of our broadcast position. Squares it up. Looking kick. And right in the middle, Jeffries has got it again. In fact, it's Shirley. So Rob Shirley kicked 3 goals so far this afternoon for the Eagles. Looks to a very crowded forward line. Decides to go across the face straight into the middle of the ground. So we went laterally to Earl. Earl looks for and finds Wise. Wise has got Darzanos. Oh, tries one too many. Oh, good balance. Darzanos just loads it up inside 50. They can't take the mark. Ball spills. Thomas just toe poke toward the boundary. Hopwood, can he get clean position? He has. Gets it to Hamblin, and Hamblin takes it for the Doggies.
Dodges inside Henschel. Hamblin comes down the broadcast side of the ground. He's kicked close to the boundary line. Hall comes from behind. Knocks it away from Daniel Shell. Out of bounds, and that draws the applause of the faithful here at Oval Avenue. Ball about to be thrown in from just about the centre of the interchange gates. Right next to the player race. And Lindsay got the better of that contest. Bello just socketed to McGowan. Off the Chris Gowans rather, not James. Ball forward. Again, Shell unable to get past Hall. Umpire said play on. Shell appealed for the full free kick. In the end, it's play on. And Robert Shirley comes away for the Eagles. Drives it up towards half forward. Fruin will fly. Hay did well, controlled it with one hand and then gave off the hand pass. Hicks up and under. McGowan under it, tried to use the body. And Sikalella, is it, just stood around him. He looks like Allison every now and then. I get a little bit confused, but it is Justin Sikalella. He's had plenty of the ball.
21 times.
Well, just taking his time here.
As Neiman and Fiacci take a rest.
At the front, Fruin, strong mark. So Neiman off the ground. Fiacci, surprisingly somewhat, comes off the ground as well. The kick wasn't good. Geister made it look very awkward. In fact, he's still struggling with the ball. Eventually, he'd be happy to see it over the line. So, just berates himself off camera as Henschel just hands it to the umpire. He looked at his hands as if to say, what were you doing? What were you thinking? 27-minute mark. 5 points the margin in favour of the Eagles. Ball back into play quickly. Jeffries, clever hand pass. Mackenzie's hand pass to Fruin. It wasn't a clever dodge, but he got it to Henschel. Squares it. Oh, this could end. No. Oh, it does. How did it find its way to Sikalella? He's got a magnet. Up to Shirley. Closes. Goals it. Oh, and again, Robert Shirley finishes the job. That's his 4th. Right on the siren. Couldn't have been better time.
It's certainly very much a steering goal for the Eagles. I mean, Central Districts had really dominated the last 15 minutes of that quarter. They've got more of the footy around the ball. They're better players. I said the McGowans had probably 12 or 13 possessions for the quarter. So he was probably the instigator that turned it around, where it was Justin Sikalella in the first quarter. McGowans was the one that suddenly started to give Central first use of the footy. And all of a sudden they started to work their way back into the game. And I really believe that the Eagles just dropped their intensity off a little bit. And we asked a question early in the quarter, how long the Eagles could maintain this intensity. I think we got a bit of an answer then. Now we'll have a bit of a go here in this, have a bit of a rest now in this half-time, and just see if they can come out after half-time and maintain this intensity.
Well, Central's kicking 4-1 to 2-3 in that quarter, so it is half-time at the Woodville Oval. A great game we have on our hands. The Eagles 7-8-50, Central District 6-3-39.
Just about to bounce the ball to start the second half. An 11-point margin in favour of the Eagles. If you've just joined us, they led by 21 at quarter time. Here's Michael Maney.
Thanks, Neil. Lindsay got the tap down. Sikalila, will he get the first clean possession? He does, of the second half. Goes with a left boot. High ball. Fiacci just worked his way in front with persistence. Can't quite pick it up. Ball toward the boundary. And Fiacci, with a bit of desperation, thought he knocked it out deliberately. But I don't think he could ping him for that. The only man going for the football. So, an 11-point lead to the Eagles. Can they maintain that, build on it? A 5-goal first quarter. Only a couple in the second, so ball back into play. McGowan feeds off again. Oh, kick smothered brilliantly by Jeffries. It was on James Gowans. So Jeffries continues his good form. And here it is. Good smother. That's commitment. Andrew Rogers, the Eagles have been committed. They've had tunnel vision for that football all day.
We talk about the 1%ers in football, the tackling, the shepherding and the smothers, and that's what they've done really well today.
They certainly have. Ball in dispute. Massive players. No one can get out of that one. Bello laying the tackle.
The only players that probably aren't around with that congestion on the half-forward flank are the guys sitting down. Brett Fruin amongst them. He started at full forward. Didn't have a big impact. Also Daniel Wise and Greg Chapman.
Boys starting the second half on the bench. Loose ball kicked off the ground. Didn't see who that was. Pedler booted off the ground. Rebound. Hamlin. Oh, went without it. Shell tries to kick mid-air. Fresh air shot. They all haul off in the taxi down there. But the umpire is not going to pluck a free kick, and we'll have a bounce.
An important time in the game there for the Eagles. We spoke about trying to hang on. I reckon they've got to try to win the game. We've got to kick a winning score, so you've got to still play exactly, be proactive and try to kick a winning score.
Arnold down, ball comes out, goes to Shirley, who gets his first possession for the second half. Very clever, ducks around one. Short kick, looking for Colville versus Thomas. That's been a good battle so far. Colville got the handball out. Hopwood just gets around the young first gamer in Ilgerson. Loads it up inside 50. They fly. No one can take the mark. Lindsay was there. Potter, quick hands. Tried to get it through. They dive on it. She's a massive players. Sikalila, standing start. High kick. Mackenzie at the back. At the front at least. Hopwood there. They dive on the footy. Gee, it's a mess over on the outer side. The umpire calls for it.
I think both teams realise how important this third quarter is, and look, it really is the premiership quarter, and whichever team can gain an ascendancy in this quarter is going to go a long way towards winning this game.
Peter Fiacci, the man stripped of a jersey there, just putting it back on as Arnold goes with Lindsay, and Lindsay comes again, gets it down. Steinwerner, a hand pass of sorts, Arnold a kick of sorts, and finally Shirley is trapped by Simon Arnott, number 42 for Centrals.
Which possibly gives us a chance to have a look at the Centrals bench. One of the injured there, or he's not there, is Ben Fitzner. He'll take no further part in the game. But the two men you see there, Luke Cowan and Ben Walton. Umpire,
well, the game hasn't moved anywhere. Just another pack ticking over 3 minutes into the 4th minute of this second half. Lindsay just couldn't get it away. They nullified each other, the two big ruckmen. Lindsay on the ground, threw it out. Still no result out of there. Still they go. Arnold this time. Now Matthews taken to ground by McGowan. Moggy, what were those stats for Ricky McGowan in that second term again?
Yes, he had 12 possessions, 2 kicks and 10 handballs, Neil.
Yes, coming off a suspension for a little indiscretion against Port Adelaide a couple of weeks ago. Ball down. Still in dispute, still on the far side of the ground. Finally, it's off the boot of Bello accidentally. Just stuck the leg out. And the Eagles get an opportunity with a free kick. Quick look around the grounds. Westies absolutely flogging North Adelaide, who earlier in the season just looked like they might have something going. And Glenelg by 14 points over Sturt. So a little bit of an upset there, but Sturt a little bit undermanned as well. Ball down towards half forward. Nobody can take a mark. Lindsay's on the ground opposed to Gowans. Now Colville, sneaky little hand pass. Shirley couldn't handle it. Umpire will come in and yet another bounce. Very, very congested. Very hard to get a kick. Very hard to even get a possession. 4.5 minutes into the second half. 11 points the margin here at the Woodville Oval. The Eagles lead it.
They certainly do, and they've done it in style. Been a great game of footy. Shirley, who's been prominent. Loose handball taken by Hay. So Hay on the outer side. Gowans has got it. Kick along the wing. Oh, a bit of holding, pushing and shoving. They dive on the footy. Potter's there, along with Chris Gowans. The umpire calls for it. Gee, we've had a bit of an arm wrestle in this third turn. No one prepared to give anything away.
Yeah, stole my thunder there, Michael. It really is an arm wrestle. It's just waiting for someone to break. And who's going to get a clean breakaway from one of these ball-ups?
Tell you what, pretty physical match also. Potter, who's been a good player. Darzanos, who's done everything this afternoon, bar kick a goal. And he's kicked one out of bounds on the full, has he? No, Hopwood thumps away. And we'll have a throw-in. So we've been going around 5.5 minutes third term. The Eagles, 7-8-50. Central, 6-3-39.
This is such as a trait when you play one-on-one footy. There's going to be no clean breakaways because everyone's accountable for one man.
Certainly are. Ball thrown in. Colville couldn't handle it. Healy with two, and in fact it's Arnold. So Arnold gets the handball away. Here goes Centrals. Chris Gowans on the end of it. Couldn't get clean possession. Well played by the Eagles. In goes Potter. Gets another possession. Thought he might have thrown that one. Pedler got it back to Darzanos. What sort of magic can he weave? Kick is a good one. Sets up Colville. Outer side. Just shook Thomas for a moment or two. You can't let this man get away from your sight. Gavin Colville will hurt you. Kicks inside 50. Mackenzie was the target. Geister should have taken that mark. Took it too easy. Ball hits the ground. There goes the young fella, Ilgerson. Gets the handball back. Fiacci caught in the tackle. Henschel's there. Locked up half forward. Bounce.
Such is the experience of the Eagles forward line that unless David Neiman actually makes a contest, the two young fellas have then got to be the next best to make a contest in Henschel and Allison or whoever's there. Just got to make a contest, and there was no one there to make a contest at that time.
Lindsay bolts it forward. Hopwood takes it, clears it. Outside the 50, Steinberner. Very quick. Jeffries did well, got in front of him. Steinberner gets to his feet, was legged, and will get a free kick. Jeffries, in the end, had to surrender the kick. Now Steinberner running in circles. He's running very quickly, but nowhere to much effect. His kick wasn't good. Earl picked it up. Earl taken the ground. Earl will have holding the ball going against him. Gee, that was pretty tough. Matty Slade gets up and says, I'll gladly accept the free kick.
Yeah, pretty tough that, Neil. I think when he didn't have a prior opportunity to get rid of the footy, I reckon that's your first thought as a footballer.
Now, Chris Gowans tries to dribble through a goal off the left leg. James turns around and gives him an earful. And I don't think that's going to really make Alistair Clarkson happy in the coach's box. We didn't quite see the earful that he was given, but James Gowans was about 20 metres out, and Chris decided he wanted to kick the goal. Instead, he missed, so the minor score brings the margin to 10 points.
I don't think the umpires can do anything if you abuse your brother. But anyway, ball by Darzanos, just inside their defensive 50 still. They fight hard. Potter's at the bottom of that pack. Crowd calls ball. So too Marco Bello. He says, come on, umpire. He's all over it. Umpire having none of that. He'll throw the ball up again, as they have done for most of this afternoon. Arnold up against Lindsay. They fly. Shirley's at the back. In they go. Pretty tough. They've really locked this game up. Bello at the bottom of that once again. So we'll have another throw up.
And once again, if you look on the goal side of the Central District attack, you'll see there's no players there. They try to isolate that area to enable people to run onto the footy and run through and kick an easy goal.
Well, I'd love to see a bit of run. We're not seeing too much of that. Sikalella dives on the footy. This is getting a little bit like last week in the wet. And the ball comes back up again. Sikalella holding the ball to the umpire and says, let's go. 10 points the difference. 8.5 minutes gone. So the Eagles have continued to show tough resilience in this term. In goes Jeffries, tries to burst his way through. Got a free kick. Thank goodness, umpire. It'll come back and it'll be a free kick for over the shoulder to Jeffries, and he'll relieve the pressure for the Eagles.
And it looks like it's going to take just a little bit of individual brilliance or something really spectacular to happen just to break this game open.
Mark Jeffries decides to clear to the far side of the ground. Hall's running for him. His player backs off, so Jeffries keeps running and instead goes long towards half forward. Pedler taking the ground. Umpire says that's a free kick. Well, I don't know about that. Andrew, your thought?
I think the only reason the free kick was there is because Conan Ford never had his eye on the football. If he keeps his eye on the footy, it's not a free kick.
McKenzie clearing inside the 50, comes to ground. Opportunity, Henschel tries to push off, can't. As a result, it's back to Healy. The Dogs captain clears the ball to Bello. Bello goes short to Hopwood. Hopwood on the far side of the ground's got a bit of space, looks inside, running for him Tyson Hay. Hay is shut down pretty well. The kick, though, found McGowan. McGowan looks inside off the left leg, and he's kicked towards Hall and Shell. And Hall did very well to shut down the space in front of Shell, who came on the lead. Now short. Shirley in the middle, the ball just knocked away, and that just slows down the play. And now Robert Shirley didn't go back, I thought, but never mind, he got it to Potter. Potter ahead of him, he's got Ilgerson just sitting out in a bit of space. Instead, he kicks long, set up for, well, Steinbrenner was set up by the kick, and instead he managed to get the ball. Well done. Hicks now clears to the middle, bad mistake, turns it over. Fiacci off to Sikalella. That ball was touched in flight, that's why he decided to play on. Now it's Arnott under pressure. They close in on him. We'll have a bounce down. It's in the centre square, just. And it's slightly favouring the Eagles into the ground. This is a tough opening to the third term. If you've just joined us, Eagles by 21 at quarter time. The margin cut to 11 at half time, and only just the one score since then. And it's reduced the margin to 10 points in favour of the Eagles. We've gone 11 minutes in this third term.
It's just a real arm race, wasn't it, Michael? Just no team, no player concerned. You're not going to give an inch here at the moment, and there's just going to be someone that's going to have to make something happen just to break this game open.
Well, I think Centrals have said, well, if you're going to man us up man on man, we're going to attempt to do the thing and shut the game down and hopefully barnstorm home in the last term. Maybe that's the tactic. Arnold on hands and knees, tries to get it. Earl's there. Slade, quick one, out toward Bello. Bello, nowhere to go. Back inboard to Steinbrenner. Off one leg. It goes towards Gowans. Gowans C to Gowans J. Well done, Fiacci. Just chopped it off. Will he keep it in play? Boundary umpire said no. Bring it back.
Centrals just seem as though they're just gradually winning the arm wrestle here. They're just getting a little bit cleaner around the footy. They're just getting a little bit forward, a little bit more fluently than what the Eagles are. So the Eagles just need to be not such as desperate, just need to get one clean breakaway to get it forward, perhaps get a goal on the board and change the momentum of the game.
Bello, unlikely ruckman, knocked it down toward Hamblin, who just tries to shrug off Potter. And a scream of ball from the crowd, as per usual. Tell you what, they get into it.
No prior opportunity there,
No.
Michael. I mean, all he's trying to do is create space so he can actually give a handball and get a kick. So, good decision by the umpire.
Yeah, good decision. Umpires have been pretty good this afternoon, you have to say. Taken by Shirley, another stat for him. Tumbling ball, McGowan, in goes Allison. And I tell you what, I've been impressed with the way Allison's attacked the footy this afternoon. Has put his body on the line for the side. Hasn't had his best season.
And such as his versatility, he can play up forward or down back. He's actually just been moved forward at half-time, but now he's just been pushed back down the back end again. So he's a very versatile player.
Sikalella, and quite a brilliant mark there by Skipworth at half forward for the Eagles. Sikalella again around the ball with Lindsay. Great understanding. Skipworth takes his time.
Operative word there, Neil. He's just taking too much time. They've all pushed back in numbers now. There's no space for any of the Eagles forwards to move into.
So he does some sort of signal, just sets it up in the end. Neiman will come from behind and fly. Pack forms. Colville just tapped it out. Now here's Healy, busts a Pack caught. They work it, still the Dogs, they get it clear. Eventually to Thomas. Thomas's kick gives Arnott a chance. Now Arnold will want the hand pass. Loops it over the top. Bello shows his pace. Off the left leg. Awkward kick. Oh, and the sun didn't help on Hall either. Finally to ground. Now Shell tackles Darzanos before he can get going. He wouldn't have caught him if he was away. Ball still in dispute. Half forward for Central's. Umpire will come in, separate the players. There's a couple of players out there looking fairly tired, including Hall, who looked like he was about to fall asleep.
And an uncharacteristic poor kick there from Bello as he ran forward. Normally a very clean, can hit targets. Just a tumble punt, just didn't really give his forward much opportunity.
Yeah, just died. Darzanos, kick smothered by James Gowans. Ball in dispute. We'll have another one of those throws. Yeah, I tell you what, Ian Mogridge is taking stats on how many ball ups we've had today.
732, Michael.
732 last count. Thanks very much for that, Ian. It appears that way at least. And we've had most of those in this third term. Ball thrown up, big pack of players. Slade gets the footy, lays it off to Arnott, who kicks it high. Hamblin, oh, gutsy attempt by Chris Gowans. Ball spills, Pedler. Good play, taken by the Eagles. That was Jeffries. Earl gets a thump down towards Sikalella, who just ducks and weaves. Handball back to Earl, who's gone forward. He's got Darzanos. In fact, it's Jeffries, who's floated forward. He's had one bounce. Will kick inside 50. Horrible looking kick. Who can mark that one? A finger breaker. McKenzie from the back. Shirley at the front. Roves the footy. Will he get rid of it? Back to Jeffries. Tough. And the ball is locked up at half forward for the Eagles. A promising thrust. Bello, poor kick. Jeffries also poor kick.
Yeah, Mark Jeffries had more time there, and a more experienced player. He should have done a lot better with that effort then. He actually had the goal kicking Robert Shirley out a little bit wider. Would have been the operative moment to go to him there.
Well, Colville, the redhead, looked like he got one high for the Eagles. The umpire wasn't having a bar of it. Calls for the ball at the other end of the ground. Daniel Shell has been in the hands of the trainers for a while after that heavy collision in the marking contest with Chris Gowans. Neither player looks fully fit at the moment, and the ball, meanwhile, has gone nowhere at the Eagles' attacking end of the ground.
It is a real scrap at the moment. It's not pretty footy, but it's desperation footy. The Eagles, this is their season, England. They want to play finals footy. They want to send a message to the rest of the competition. Look, we deserve to be in the finals this year.
Bello, little hand pass out to Arnott. He was beset by a player and couldn't get a clean position. Now Trent Henschel wraps up another dog. Paul Thomas, umpire will call for the ball. Crichton Ford looking less than happy, Michael, at being taken off the ground.
Yes, I guess everybody takes their turn at the on Centrals. They do rotate. I think they had 14 changes in that first quarter, but it's the interest is in the interchange that the Eagles will put down. Daniel Wise getting ready to come on. Ilgerson, first-time player, just laid a tackle, but he just seems a little bit lost out there to me. If they get one of the experienced heads in Chapman or Wise on, just to add a little pressure across the middle of the ground, I think that would benefit the team.
Forward pocket for the Eagles. Hay for the Dogs, comes away, just dribbles the ball outside the 50. Oh, the hand pass was a straight. Thomas soccers it off the ground. Great hands from Darzanos. A little bit of a step. Somehow got a hand pass away. And finally, it's closed in again. Nobody able to get it out. Slade working hard, as was Robert Shirley, number 33 for the Eagles.
Spiro Darzanos is never going to die wondering what he can do with the footy, is he? Every time he gets it, he's going to try to make something happen. And that's great from a young player. And I'd suggest that the other blokes will find that very inspirational.
Good ballroom dancer, I reckon. He's got a nice step about him. Taken by Allison. He'll kick it inside 50. He'll kick it into the 10-metre square. Long kick. It's carried the pack. Magnificent kick, Paul Allison. We'll just wait on the goal umpire. No. So it must have been touched off the boot.
Hit the post.
Hit the post. Thanks, Michael Parsons. Hit the post. So Allison, who bobs up and kicks his first score of the day. Eagles 7-9-51. Central 6-4-40.
I think the Eagles interchange we were waiting for, it was Gavin Colville that came off. He spent a fair bit of time off the ground in that second quarter. An interesting call from Ron Fuller.
Open your eyes, you idiot!
Hey, member of the crowd just gives the umpire some advice. Open your eyes. The ball down to ground. Clash of players. McKenzie, pulled off the ball by McGowan. Didn't get a free kick. Goes in again. This time just soccers the ball forward. Arnott tries the same thing. Finally to Lindsay. Still no clean possession. Well gathered. Chris Gowans clean, one take to forward to Daniel Shell, the two players involved in that collision 5 minutes ago. They look fully fit again. Here's Bello off his unnatural foot, just kicks it up, big fly, no mark. Potter clears it for the Eagles. Here comes Arnold from behind. Oh, great stuff by Jeffrey, showed great courage in the middle of that, and Arnold hit his own player hard. McGowan, or rather Gowans, is again holding his head.
It's just an end-to-end footy. I mean, players putting their bodies on the line. It's great to see, and it's great for the Eagles to say, look, we're stepping up. It's inspirational to other players.
So here's McGowan off the left leg inside the forward line. Shell got away from his man in Hall, closes, hand pass over the top. James Gowans from 20 metres, steadies and has kicked a goal. Good finish from James Gowans. And finally, the third term deadlock has been broken and the Eagles crack it, or rather Centrals crack the Eagles.
It's taken 19 minutes for the first goal of this third quarter, and it goes to Centrals, who just persevered. The important thing there was you saw Stephen Hall fall over. Wasn't able to maintain the pressure on Daniel Shell, who gave a nice handball onto the Gowans. He just runs into an open goal and finishes like a good play. Took his time, settled, ran straight at the goal, and he gets the all-important first goal of this third quarter.
5 points the difference. Goal to James Gowans. Something going right for Centrals. They get that first score out of the centre. Sikalella got it to Wise. Long kick inside, looking for Mackenzie and Hicks. Good play, Hicks. Good defender. Geister, fresh air shot. Oh, scooped up by Ilgerson. It goes to Wise. Wise is inside 50. Long kick by Daniel Wise. I think he's put it through for a behind. Thank you very much for the early call from the goal umpire at the far end. One behind, so Daniel Wise missing the opportunity to get one straight back, Andrew.
And once again, it's the younger players of the Eagles. Trent Henschel missed a couple early in the first quarter, and in the second quarter even, and Daniel Wise had an opportunity there just to put that pressure back on Centrals and give the Eagles a bit of breathing space at three-quarter time. Unfortunately, not able to finish.
Hay plays on from the kick-in, goes long and direct. Hamblin pushes off his man. Crowd not happy with that. He gets away with it anyway. Hamblin off the left leg, up towards Gowans, and coming in was Walton. One grab, bang, in the midst. Now he looks up forward. Cowan on the lead, hits the ball hard, takes the mark, looks around, says, where's the mark? I want to have a go at goal.
It's one of the few times today we've seen Central be able to move the ball with any sort of cohesion. And there was just two really good quality kicks and two really good leads. They're out putting the ball out in front. Cowans was out to make his own pace into the footy, and Joe Pedler, nothing you do about that kick.
Cowan over the ball. We're into time on. Won't be much of it. 21 minutes into this third term. Only the one goal so far in the quarter. Here's Cowan for the Doggies' second of the quarter. And the Doggies hit back. It's all levelled up. 52 points apiece.
And doesn't that sting the Eagles, where Daniel Wise has the opportunity, unfortunately just misses to the right-hand side of the goals. Central District's able to rebound it from the kick out. You see a great kick out in front of Cowans, who takes a nice mark out in front. Joe Pedler goes back, finishes with a nice goal. Just when they need something to happen, Centrals are able to make it happen. And now the question is really asked of the Eagles, are you a serious contender, or are you just going to make up the finals?
Maybe the next couple of minutes could tell that story. Bounce, not a good one. Sikalella, ball out of the centre by James Gowans. Wise lays it off to Allison, who'll go with a left footer. Good kick, just found Shirley. Only off one step. They go in hard. Slade dives on the footy. Skipworth, got him covered up. Umpire crosses the arms and says, give it to me.
You can see Central's pressure's increased. All of a sudden, the Eagles haven't got any time. They're not hitting their targets as much as what they were in that first half.
Good point, Andrew. You just get that feeling this game could be about to crack open Central's way. Gowans down, free kick too high. It'll go to Fiacci. A bit quiet in this quarter, Fiacci, but gee, he's been a trier all day. Nothing much on offer up forward. He had Earl. Short, but decided to go long. Up goes the big fellow in Neiman, couldn't take the mark. Ball spills over the back. This Central's defence. Slade taken away. Walton, handball to Hopwood, just gets around. Kicks inboard, tumbler, Darzanos. Could have been a free kick. In goes Wise. He's locked up.
You see, even when Spiro Darzanos got that ball, then he wanted to make something happen. Unfortunately, never had the time or the space to do it. But I think that's a great attitude for the Eagles to have at the moment. They've given themselves an opportunity. They just need to keep this positive attitude.
Bello, handball to James Gowans, over to Chris Gowans. Ball's got to sit for him, doesn't do so. Awkward bounce. In goes Potter, who really has been a tough defender for the Eagles. Right at the bottom of that pack. Had his head driven into the turf. The umpire calls for it once again.
So half forward for the Dogs. They've had a good third term against the Breeze. Lindsay is not there, and as a result, McGowan gets it. Oh, Pedler couldn't trap it. Eventually he can. Luck was with him that time, cleared it to the far side of the ground, foot race. Hamblin leads the way for the Dogs. Can't pick it up, taps it in front of him, siren time. So a very short quarter. In fact, it ran 24.5 minutes. And it's all locked away at three-quarter time. What a contest. Central District 8-4-52, kicking the only 2 goals of the quarter, and 7-10-52 for the Eagles. For a great finish here, all locked away, 52 points apiece. Final term, Michael Maney, your call.
Thanks, Neil. Set up for a grandstand finish. Cowan's gone into the ruck for the Bullies. Ball taken out of there by Chapman. Gets it to Colville. Colville, so the Eagles go forward. High ball by Colville. Who can take a mark? Hay spilled it. Ball, crumbs, kicked off the ground by Geister. Colville leads in the race for the footy. Will just keep it in. High ball. Umpire calls play on. Not 15. Fruin. Hereda. Oh, just shrugs off Henschel. Bit too easy for the Doggies. Short kick finds Cowan, half-back. So Cowan settles things down a bit. They need a quick goal. Do Centrals. Also the Eagles. Pedler knocks it down. Ford's there. Colville for another touch. Umpire said no, couldn't get it out, no prior.
Interesting, Gavin Colville's thrown himself straight into the action here early, really trying to inspire his teammates. He has actually had a groin injury and he has had the flu for the last couple of weeks, so perhaps that's the reason why he's spent some time on the bench. Just
taking a breath. In goes McGowan, had a couple of weeks off, one through a bye and one through suspension. Chapman, whose kick was partially smothered. It spills okay for Lindsay. He's got Jeffries, so Jeffries taking the mark. Oh, Bello about to mow him down. He spots him. Oh, kicked around the corner to Darzanos. So let's see if this works. Darzanos just wait for it to sit. He's got a man in short in Henschel, goes to him now. Henschel takes the mark. Couple of kicks out from goal. Lead by Fruin, takes the mark. 35, make that 40 metres out directly in front. Brent Fruin, so good play by the Eagles, Andrew. They just built it up, didn't waste it, didn't kick it long to a pack situation, just measured it off.
Sometimes get to crunch times in games. Now I think we're seeing a crunch kick here right at the time. Michael, this could really set the tone for the last quarter. He kicks the goal, gives the Eagles the momentum. He misses. Centrals get the footy, then are able to race it down in the other end.
He's kicked 14 in his career for the Eagles. Good-looking kick. Teammates like it. First blood in the last term goes to the Eagles. Fruin kicks his first. They lead by that straight kick.
And of course, you were right there, Michael. They didn't panic with the footy. They showed good composure. And it was some of the kids involved there. You see, Trent Henschel just went back, just dictated nice. It was a good lead straight up the middle, which is important. Gave him the shot from straight in front rather than lead to the pocket. And importantly, went back and kicked the goal. Gives the Eagles the first all-important goal this last quarter. And with the momentum, you just don't know what can happen from here.
Brett Fruin with the first goal of the final quarter. He played 2 matches in the final season of the Fitzroy Football Club. Handball off the back there to Wise. Broke a tackle quickly forward to Lindsay. Always important, off to Chapman. Chapman gets it wide. Darzanos, he's a test of the pace. Bello chases, he's quick as well. Bello closes. Darzanos gets a hand pass inside. Chapman backed up his own kick, well done. The hand pass wasn't great, but Jeffries had enough speed to close to 40. On goal, he kicks. Spiral kick, awful kick, cross goal, out of bounds. Poor result in the end.
The 2 important factors there early for the Eagles is that Paul Lindsay's got his hand on the footy both times in the middle, and a fresh Greg Chapman has been able to get involved early. And just with his handball, he's just set a couple of opportunities up.
Westies by 71 points and Sturt by 12 points. So Sturt coming back after being down to Glenelg. The Doggies are down. Let's see if they can get up. Here's a kick away by Steinburn. He was trapped just as he tried to kick it. Potter takes the mark. Just backs up, has a look around.
You're just a good, honest performer, Ryan Potter. What you see is what you get. He'll just give you 100% all the time.
Well, the kick just sat it up. Colville knocked it down. Fiacci, off his unnatural side, just gets it inside the forward 50. McKenzie puts the pressure on Hicks, who just sees it over the boundary line. So 6 points the margin. 4 minutes in, final term at Woodville Oval, and the Eagles are really challenging the Premiers.
They've certainly come out a lot a lot better in this last quarter than what they showed in the third quarter. The Centrals just seem to be a little bit off the boil.
Ball down, Hereda does the rucking. Chapman, who's been prominent in this last quarter. Jeffries also tries to burst his way through. Umpire calls for it again. An early goal to the Eagles in this term. 8-10-58 Central, 8-4-52. Ball inside 54 the Eagles, and they would be searching for another goal to pop the question to the league leaders, Centrals, who have taken all before them this year. Another goal would test the resources of Centrals. Ball goes out of bounds, will be thrown back in again. And a quick one here, Andrew, will be just what the Eagles need.
And once again, Michael, there's a multitude of players around the footy. I would just like the Eagles to pull some players out, create some space, flick one over the back into some sort of space, and able their on-ballers to run onto and maybe kick an easy goal.
Well, another ball up. Time ticking away. 5 minutes gone. Lady taking a real close look at the forward structure of the Eagles. Ball hits the turf. Big, massive players. Chapman tries to get through. In goes Shirley, who's been prominent. Handball back to Fiacci. Fiacci just kicks it around the corner. Colville! Squared it up. And that is disciplined football by the Eagles. And Gavin Colville, as Andrew Rogers said just a moment ago, has been struggling with an injury and a couple of weeks of the flu. Has had a spell on the bench and takes an important mark and goes back and could kick an important goal for the Eagles.
And they just persisted there. They just tried to keep the ball alive in their forward line. Eventually it came to young Peter Fiacci, and it was very disciplined. He could have blazed away on his natural left foot. He was able to square the ball back up in the middle. Gavin Colville found himself in space and gets the opportunity. An all-important kick. He's a very good kick for goal on the run. I suggest he will nail this one as well.
Will kick from about 35 metres out directly in front. Gavin Colville has maybe sprayed it to the right, has he? He has.
Nice suggestion, Andrew.
Yes, if anyone was going to mock her, it was going to be me, wasn't it? Thanks for that, Gav. Yeah, look, I mean, there's times in a game, as I said, it was a crunch time for Brent Frew, and it was also a crunch time there. It just keeps Central in the game. They've had a lot of opportunities, Eagles, just didn't have able to put them away.
Huge kick in from Hay, outside 50. Here's Colville on the ground. Got a hand pass of sorts to Fruin, couldn't handle it. Now Wise, he's manhandled by a couple of dogs. Umpire calls for a bounce. Was it 242 games, I think, Andrew, with the Eagles?
Yes, and there was many missed goals in those as well. Yeah.
So the ball thrown up, and Cigalella comes over the top, just smashes it forward. Here's a foot race again. Colville desperate, opposed to Steinberner, who, believe me, is quick. Not quick enough to pull that one in before it went over the boundary, though. Score check, 7 points, 7 minutes into the final term. The Eagles have done so well today. They've really battled hard. Good block there, stopped Healy from coming in over the top of Lindsay. And Lindsay eventually forces another ball up.
Very important, that result too with Sturt. Very important they win if the Eagles can actually get up, so top spot up for grabs there.
And of course Trey Nord in the equation as well.
So the ball down again. Here's Chapman. He's done well in the last term. We'll get a stat in a minute. And here it is, off to Wise. Centres up the ball. Crucial marking contest. Jeffries came from behind, almost was able to pickpocket the ball. Oh, loose ball out to Colville. This time around the corner, he snaps out of bounds. So he's missed a couple of opportunities in the final term. And Gavin Colville, the captain and 2001 best and fairest, knows it.
As you suggested, Neil, Greg Chapman very important this quarter. 7 possessions, 2 kicks and 5 handballs.
Just fresh legs coming off the bench. Just a little bit worried about Central's playing last week at Unley Oval in a real bog heap. Just reckon it might just tell them their legs in the end.
Chapman, that man we just mentioned a moment ago, thought he got a push in the back too. He's had that football in his sights in this last term. The umpire said we'll throw it up.
And it's just interesting that Justin Cicolella and Robert Shirley have both fallen out of the game a little bit. They're only able to handle so much of the workload, and it's Greg Chapman as being the one that's standing up at the moment, just trying to pick up the impetus that they've actually lost.
Hay tries to get it away. Chapman dives on the footy, locks it up, and that's where it'll end, I think. That's been the pattern in the last couple of quarters, apart from the first 5 or 6 minutes of this quarter, where it was pretty open. But the Bulldogs, that defence really do lock things up there. Umpire throws it up again. Can Centrals bash it through for a point? Do they want to concede? Sikalala. Kick for one behind. So another important point to the Eagles. Takes their score to 8-12-60. Centrals 8-4-52.
Of course, Centrals will be just trying to ride out the storm here. At the moment, the Eagles are controlling the footy. They're just trying to ride the storm out at the moment. And if they can get hold of the footy, all of a sudden they'll be off and running.
McKenzie, well done. Just got the ball away from Thomas as he looked to be going into a bit of space from a great kick out from Tyson Hay. Michael, on the bench, just tell me, where has Greg Chapman been for most of this match? Because he is dynamite in this last term.
You're exactly right, Neil. He's been on the bench. He spent a good deal of time sitting down, but got the call from the coach at three-quarter time. Particular effort, put him into the middle, looking for some strong running, and he is delivering.
Well, McKenzie tried to deliver then, unfortunately, just couldn't spear it around the corner and put it out of bounds on the full. So here's Damien Hicks to bring it back in. Long driving drop punt towards the wing from behind, knocked away by Allison on the ground. Fellow blonde Sikalala gets in there, and the umpire will eventually call for a bounce down or a throw up. Let's wait and see what he does.
Of course, it's going to be, this next goal is going to be really important. If Centrals get it, they close the margin right up, the game closes up. The Eagles get it, they're off and running. Centrals have got to kick 3 goals to win the game.
Here's Steinburner. Maybe that umpire's just lost the ability to bounce the ball. He's opted to throw it up. Down towards half forward. Kick, socket off the ground, Slade. He's very quick. He's being trailed by Potter. Slade still over it. Can't get it. Well done in the end by Pedlar. Joey Pedlar. Oh, loves a run. Eats, sleeps, surf and dream. That's his dreams away from football, and he couldn't have dreamed of a better result. Then he found Robert Shirley in the centre square. Shirley goes back. Umpire calls play on. Players haven't heard it. Shirley drives towards half forward. Threw in the target. Almost took a chest mark. Colville, brilliant. Great head pass inside. Rose can't take possession. Fruin follows up. Puts a bit of pressure on Hamblin. Hamblin's hand pass was good. Thomas cleared it then, or rather Hicks might have been cleared it to Hopwood. Hopwood's kick found Gowan's taken the ground. Umpire says play on. Gowan's will blow up. And meanwhile, the play goes on. The kick from Wise inside forward, 50 out of bounds, I think. Umpire calls it out of bounds. Just a quick look around the grounds west. Big win. North Adelaide are getting a hammering recently. 90 points this week at the moment. Stirred by 18 points over the Bays.
Just wish Daniel Wise had gone to the top of the square there rather than go to the pocket. He goes to the pocket, misses the kick. We now see a boundary throw and we see a 50-50. If he misses a kick to the top of the square, he's still got a chance to roll through for a goal, or something can still happen. Just got to learn from that, I think.
And one of the Eagles' better players today, Robert Shirley, just starting to feel the effects of his workload, sits down in the middle of the ground with cramp.
A little bit of cramp. Anyway, Sikalala, who tries to weave some magic. Stolen by Bello. Well played. Torpedo punt. Looking for and finding the boundary. Was it off Gowan's boot? Let's see. No. Crowd called for it.
They're just struggling at the moment. Centrals, they really haven't got anything really happening for them. Their better players can't get hold of the footy. They're just hanging in there at the moment. I think they're just trying to weather this storm, and then perhaps they can mount some serious challenge in the last 15 minutes of this quarter.
Big massive players. Arnold tries to make a statement. Locked up by a couple of Eagles, so we'll have another throw up. Gee, how many times, Moggy, just get you to check how many times Central's been inside 50 in this quarter? I can't recall it. Maybe once?
That's right, Michael. Just the once to the Eagles 6.
Just the once, 1 to 6, so there you go. Arnold and Lindsay nullify each other. Chapman, another scat, a handball, loose one to no one. Healy, who's been quiet, hasn't been able to get into the game. Kick this time, torpedo punt. Ford, Pedlar. Pedlar's having his jumper held onto. Umpire said play on. They both gang tackle each other. And the umpire comes in. I don't know how two people can gang tackle. But anyway, they both tackled each other.
Well, it was a gang tackle. It just involved one from one side and one from the other.
It was the first thing that come into my head.
Joe Pedlar's had a really good game today. He's enabled to hold down centre half back against Conan Ford, and able to play Brent Fruin up forward.
Well, Sikalala over the top, just knocked it out of bounds. Gee, the Eagles and Ronnie Fuller have got to be congratulated. They have gone to school on Centrals, and they have, well, in some ways taught them a lesson. The game's not over, though. Hamblin, a tap of sorts, and taken the ground again in a strong tackle. Arnold.
Calling it early, Neil.
Oh, the push and shove's on, there's no doubt about that. But no, Ronnie Fuller must be congratulated. They certainly seem to have, partially at least, to this stage, unlocked some of the secrets of Central District. The ball on the ground, Gowan's trapped. Chris Gowans will get up and have a mouthful. He's had a mouthful a couple of times today and being penalised for it. There you go. Yep. Knew he wouldn't let me down. Hands the ball over eventually to umpire Jeff Brown. And I think he may have caught one in the face earlier in the game. He's a bit gun-shy, so he throws it up. Here's Ricky McGowan. A lot of stats in the third term, got Centrals back into the game. Bello, Josh Dommies, left, right and centre, then kicks it up inside the forward 50. Shell tries to push away from his man. Allison taking the ground, no free kick. Here's Hall looking for the boundary line. Steinberner was too quick, pulls it in, pushes off a man, head pass inside, Shell snap. We'll wait, we'll see a goal. Or a point, wait and see, a point. I called that one a bit early too, Michael. Saw the crowd go up behind the goal and thought, and now as I look, they're actually wearing blue, gold and green. That was a dead giveaway.
Geez, it was important. Marco Bello was able to evade two Eagles tackles here right in front of the commentary position here on the grandstand side. He just was able to give himself some space to kick it long to the hot spot and create that opportunity.
Potter goes short to Zanos.
Robert Shirley just succumbs to cramp, come off, get a run, he'll be back on. Skipworth is the fresh man on.
A good man to come on. Shirley replacing Skipworth replacing Shirley, so that's a good one. Short kick. Oh, here's trouble. Ford's taken the mark. Handball on. It goes to Slade. Slade, long thumping kick. And he's put it through. Centrals get to within a point. Slade kicks his first for the afternoon. And Centrals pop the question to Woodville West Torrens.
And just the inexperience there of the Eagles showing us, Spiro Azanas, just going short to a 50-50 contest. Conan Ford able to play on quickly, gets the ball forward to Slade. He just, as a quality player, we saw him play state footy this year. He was able to finish. It's another crunch time in the game now. Paul Lindsay needs to get his hands on the footy for the Eagles. Whoever can take this ball away is going to go a long way towards winning this game.
Conan Ford gets his reward, comes to sit down. Luke Cowan will take his place at centre-half forward.
1 point the margin. And opportunity from Lindsay was provided there to Skipworth. They couldn't clear it. And Chris Gowan's just doing a bit of niggling. Umpire put the ball in the air again. Here comes Arnold. Lindsay smashes it forward. Hamblin best place, takes a chest mark. Crunch, too high in the back, take your choice. So Hamblin will clear the ball forward. Jeffries put the pressure on him, and Jeffries is not well, and Hamblin can't stand up to take advantage of it. Kicks it forward. Jeffries still on the ground, will stay with the game as the ball goes forward. The Doggies, they're hunting at the moment, and they just cannot get possession at half forward. And I don't think there's any doubt Mark Jeffries in a lot of trouble in the centre square, as we see there, just getting up slowly. He wants to shake off the trainer. Arnold comes from behind, belts it forward. Oh, they close. Here's Steinberner, takes on Skipworth, beats him, closes to 20 metres and kicks. Wait on it this time. I think it's a goal. It is, and the Doggies hit the front.
And hasn't the momentum of the game changed? The Eagles controlled the first 7 or 8, maybe even 10 minutes. Weren't able to put scoreboard pressure on Centrals. Centrals weathered the storm and mounted their own challenge now. Just kept the ball alive. And you can see the value of pace here. Nathan Steinberner just too quick for Hayden Skipworth. Takes his time, settles, kicks the goal, gives Centrals their first lead from probably the first quarter of the day. And what a vital time to be in front. Now all the emphasis goes back to the Eagles to see if they can get this ball out of the middle.
A shaken up Mark Jeffries just takes a rest. Rob Shirley, after the rub down to get rid of cramp, is going to try the legs again.
Dogs by 5 points. Skipworth off one step, long kick, targets Fruin, knocked away by Harada. Taken by Colville. Oh, he's going to get clear, is he? Yes, handball back to Skipworth. Skipworth, handball across towards Fiacci. Fiacci, long kick, Henschel getting back, can't take the mark. Ball in dispute, knocked away by Geister. And we'll have a boundary throw in. All the stakes are high, particularly if you're an Eagle.
Yeah, certainly it's a crunch game for the Eagles. They can really set themselves up and make the finals if they in fact win this game. For Centrals also, because Norwood and Sturt can put a lot of pressure on them for top spot.
5 points the difference. A goal will put the Eagles back in front. Arnott caught with a footy. Just a toe poke toward Fruin and the boundary line. Sees it over.
Once again, I'd like to see either a third jumper or Brent Fruin, work this ball over the back into some sort of space. Just work it out with a non-bowler so that he runs through, just knock it over the back, give him some space, and he's able to run into an open goal.
Looked like Daniel Healy taking a spell there. Ball hits the deck. Hay couldn't quite get it. Bit of pressure on down there, I'll tell you. He's a hot potato at the moment, that football. Ball to be thrown back in. What have we ticked in? Let's have a look at the updates. Westies, well, they're flying against North Adelaide, and Sturt have steadied, and they lead by 4 straight kicks. Bello tries to weave a bit of magic away. Hugs the boundary line and finds a good play by Bello. That's the experience. That's experience of a side that knows how to win, knows how to attack, but know when to jam it up.
And that was the difference there. Marco Bello, look, he couldn't see anything, what was going to happen, so all he did was kick it over the boundary. Spirito Arnott, conversely, down the other end, tried to make something happen, misses his kick, costs a goal. So just that little bit of experience is just telling at the moment.
Fiacci got the hands clear towards Cicolella, out of bounds, 55 metres from the Eagles' goal. Eagles kicked 5 goals in the opening term, have only kicked 3 since then, and the Dogs, who kicked 2 in the opening term, have kicked 4, 2 and 2 in the 3 quarters since. This match is not over though. Fruin opposed to Hereda. Bello caught in the middle of a couple of Eagles players and taken to ground, and the umpire calls for the ball.
Won't be much time on either, sorry Michael. Won't be much time on. 20.5 minutes gone, only 3 goals kicked so far in the quarter.
Just a rotation on the Central's forward line. Luke Cowan's full forward. Kynan Ford comes back on to centre half forward, and Shell sits down for his turn, having a rest.
Eagles still put the pressure on. Thomas looked to get the kick out of that forward 50, and just the kick smothered out of bounds. So ticking over 21 minutes, 5 points the margin. Central's up, but it's at the Eagles attacking into the ground. Breeze dropped away to hardly anything. Here's Fiacci, bit of pace, got the hand pass to Colville, then it came back to Darzanos. He's got a player on the lead, it's Henschel, trapped it with one hand, couldn't hold on to it. Geister comes through, Henschel traps him, umpire calls 50-50, my ball. Thank you, fellas. Crowd supporting that one, mostly the Dogs fans clapping it.
And just little things, just the missed kick just wasn't quite there. The little things are just hurting the Eagles at the moment.
The ball down again, Arnold came over the back, the Dogs just battling hard. They've come from behind, they've done it hard, and they're in front by 5 points. 21.5 minutes. We see the clock ticking over.
You just wonder the detrimental effect this might have on the Eagles. They've actually worked really hard all day, and if they can't quite get over the line, it may just deflate them a lot for the rest of the season.
Heath Hopwood appealing for a free kick there. Here's Murray Handlin, just put the head down, barged through. Tight contest. Gavin Colville helped up in the background there by by Jason Earl. Jason Earl backs off a bit. He's just hoping for just the ball to come out. Here's where they really need a break. Here's Lindsay taken to ground by James Gowans. Umpire will throw it up again. Michael, see if he can get it away.
And of course, this is just playing into Central's hands here. They're quite happy to have ball up after ball up. What the Eagles need to do is to push out, get some space around the footy, make it a 3-on-3 or a 4-on-4 rather than a 6-on-6 or an 8-on-8. Central just going to keep diving on this footy until someone blows a siren or something actually happens.
Seems remarkable, Andrew, that Centrals are 5 points in front, and we think if they kick a goal, they'll pinch the game. They've really been perhaps the better side all day, but looks like, you know, they could just pinch this game. It seems ridiculous. But anyway, they've got themselves into this situation. Hamblin will go for the boundary. Well, if that's not out deliberate, I'll go he. But anyway, by foot, it's a little bit different.
You get so many opportunities in the game, Michael, and Centrals have made the most of their opportunities. The Eagles have wasted a few, unfortunately, and it may come back to haunt them.
James Gowans gets the kick for Centrals, breaking up that horrible bit of play. Pedler, handball to Earl. Earl spots Colville, takes the mark. Gavin Colville, wing, missed a very important kick earlier in the quarter from 35 metres out. Strong kill. Oh, good mark, Lindsay. Lays off to Shirley. He's been caught. Prior opportunity. Hopwood got him. Fruin. It comes out to Jeffries. Jeffries across to McKenzie. Will it sit for him? McKenzie inside 50. Shoots on goal. They're in front. The Eagles hit the lead.
And they really just persevered there, didn't they? They took a risk. Joe Pedler took a risk at half-back. They just continued to take risks as they... It was a great mark by Paul Lindsay, who fed it inside, just did the instinctive thing off to Robert Shirley. So you just got tackled straight away. Robert Shirley, ball just spilled loose, kept the ball forward. Just important, and just kept it going. And McKenzie had the presence to take his time, run straight at goal, puts the Eagles in front by a point. Now we see a very important bounce.
As Lindsay didn't get his hand to it, it's cleared away by Central's. A mark at half-back, important mark, umpire pays it. And believe me, the Eagles will take their time now. Oh, they're taking all the time in the world. Justin Cicolella will finally get the ball. He's got his captain, Gavin Colville, short and wide, and that's the way he'll go. Colville, experience, plays on. Don't know if he wanted to do that. His kick was perfect. Well done, the young fella. Ilgerson with the mark now. Ilgerson being told by Hall to kick it long. And Hall just coming up to reinforce that point. Now Stephen Hall, the experience of 130 games, tells Ilgerson in his first match, drive it long. Great mark, Lindsay! Oh, that's an important grab. They lead by 1 point, the Eagles. Centrals have won their past 6 in a row. They've won their past 4 against the Eagles and 7 of the past 8. Lindsay goes for the pocket, just drives it in there. A mark, yes, to Fruin. So Brent Fruin, 2 games of AFL experience, will line up. And if he takes his time at the end of the day, that may be just as valuable as kicking a goal, Andrew Rogers.
I think the important thing from the Eagles' point of view is that they just maintained their composure. They kept it close to the boundary line. They kept it right deep in the pocket. So the worst result was a boundary throw-in. So Brent Fruin gets a chance to make a hero of himself.
So Fruin, as we're seeing, just the 3 marks for the day and just the 3 kicks. Lines it up. He'll start it out right. He'll want to fade it back in there. It's long and 2 points the margin now as it's rushed through. And Tyson Hay cannot get his hands on the ball fast enough, and I'd suggest he'll want to kick this as long as possible.
And the important thing for Centrals is they get an opportunity. They get the ball back.
You're exactly right, Neil. Long kick by Hay. They fly. Great mark. Steinburner. In fact, it's Hamlin. Gets it away to Steinburner now, who's got it. Here come the doggies. Is there one thing left for them?
25-metre penalty.
25-metre penalty, yeah.
So time stops.
It comes back to Hamlin in the centre of the ground. Sits it up. Last hurrah for the doggies, you'd think. Thumped away. Great piece of play. Ball hits the deck. Comes out, Colville, through difficult traffic to Pedler. Kick partially smothered. Chapman, they dive on Chapman. No free kick. He knocks it away. Here they come. Slade, the kick inside. Arnott is going to take the mark. He can. Gavin Colville, hands on head. And Simon Arnott, we've seen some games in the AFL this year, decided after the siren. The siren hasn't gone here, but this is an important kick for Arnott. The Eagles lead by 2 points.
And he's just got to go back to the basics here. Get his run up correctly, kick through the footy, and he should finish with a goal.
Kick by Arnott, and the siren has it carried the pack. It has, and the siren's gone, and Centrals win. An amazing game of football.
Well, it's never all over till the final siren, is it? Unfortunately for the Eagles, they just didn't quite play the last minute well enough. And for Centrals, they've had a really morale-boosting victory today. This is probably just the shake-up the Centrals needed. They've just been rolling along, beating the better teams quite easy all day. They've had a serious challenge today. The Eagles, unfortunately, just weren't good enough. Just couldn't quite put the game on ice right late in the day. They paid the penalty for missing the most of their opportunities. But that's why Centrals are such a good side and the premiership favourite.
So Central District by 4 points, and we have not seen scenes like this for a long, long time in SANFL footy. Boy, they really got out of jail, the doggies, and great images to watch too as the Dogs go over to thank the Eagles for a contest that really was top quality. This is really what local footy is about in the SANFL. A great contest between 2 very, very good sides, and the Doggies coming through to win the points by just 4 points with a kick on the final siren by Simon Arnott.
A couple of idiot fans too, Neil, out there getting onto the ground, and the security just whisking them away. but nothing can take away from this game. What a magnificent game of football. I tell you what, the Eagles can really hold their heads up very, very high.
There's no doubt about that, but I tell you what, there's a big smile on the doggies' faces, and in particular Marco Bello, and he is with Michael Parsons.
Marco, you've got to be smiling after that one. That's probably the closest game you've had for a while. How do you like a victory like that?
I love it. I think that's probably the best one we've had all year. The Eagles played a great game, and we knew they would after a great win last week, and we just kept at it. That's Parko's philosophy, just keep at it. And it showed. The last kick of the day wins the game, and I won't be able to get the smile off my face, I think.
Excellent win. Pretty tough in the midfield today. They manned up on you fairly tight all day.
Certainly. I mean, Shirley, I think, got 4 goals in the first half, so they played really well in the middle, and we had to combat that and came out the second half a little bit stronger.
And it probably set you up pretty good as well, just to have a tough game. It's been a little bit easy some of the games this year, but a tough game's got to be good for the character of the side.
I won't say easy. I mean, every game's a tough game, certainly different aspects of it, but that's been the toughest we've had in terms of scoreboard-wise. And Norwood next week should be another tough one, so I look forward to that.
We're all looking forward to that one, Marco. Excellent win. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.